Good Friday morning, everybody. John and Lance, along with Sean Mapes today. And Shawnee is the co-host of the Mopey and Mape Show,
Also
which
known as
follows
Snark
this.
Tank.
The what? The
Also known as Snark Tank.
Snark Tank. Okay, I like that too.
AKA Couldn't Care Less with Dell and Sean.
Yeah, Deli Belly and Shawnee. And that's
I like Deli Belly. That just sounds too...
well. That's why we like
know.
it. That's why I like it a lot.
I
Because
don't know what it sounds like. It just sounds... Ugh, it just makes my skin crawl.
That's what David calls him, right? Well, no, it's when David calls in.
David who?
David Whitlock.
Oh, the listener.
Yes. When he calls in as someone who talks like this.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And he calls him Deli Belly. And so that's going to happen starting on Monday, right, Sean? We start that Monday?
Yeah, Monday at Republic.
Ooh, we're going to be at
Republic
Republic Boot Company, and great prices for you, discounts for you during the show. Well, during the whole day while we're out there. We're going to be broadcasting live
Come during the show
all
if you
day
get
out
a
there.
chance to, though.
Yeah, we want you
We'd
to
like to
come
see
up.
you out there. We're going to have breakfast tacos starting, I think, at about 8:30 a.m. from Valencia.
Well,
So-
and we'll also have an open bar.
Well,
everybody.
I mean, if you drink at 8 in the morning, that's fine.
Who doesn't?
You probably need to go to rehab if that's the case, but that's fine. It's your choice to do that.
Speaking of which, we didn't touch on this yesterday, but my goodness, we got to some of the Johnny and Kevin Sumlin stuff.
From Club Shay Shay. He was
Yeah.
on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Johnny Manziel. And
Oh,
he had some things to say, but apparently he went a little deeper. I need to watch that episode. Apparently he went deeper on Kevin Sumlin, who,
yeah.
by the way, is last I heard he was one of the offensive coordinators at Maryland.
Right.
I talked to him about one of his Delmar Glaze, one of his tackles, who was thinking about coming out, and I think he's probably still there. I don't think he's anywhere else.
I don't know.
And I don't
You
know
know,
if
he
he
got
left.
arrested for the DUI.
When was this?
Somebody did during the season.
Yeah, during the season. But this is after the season when the kid was thinking about going pro. He was
Oh.
still in Maryland, unless he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, and I don't know what has happened with somebody since then. But Johnny really unloaded on him, and he actually called him a hypocrite. So it's Johnny. Johnny now is clean and sober.
Yeah, he's still at Maryland.
He still is at
Yeah,
Maryland. Good.
assistant, associate head coach and tight end coach.
Right. Well, and I hope everything. I haven't talked to somebody in quite a while, and I hope everything works out for him. But man, it was ugly. He and Johnny do not have a great relationship, and have not had a great relationship for a little while. So hopefully they work that out. But Johnny obviously had his problems, and he talked about Kevin Sumlin's problems, which is the airing it in the media like this is
Well, it's become the standard.
yeah, it really has. It really
It's the
has.
standard. I mean, grown men don't let grown men stuff stay grown men stuff.
Well, and it's so funny. The stories today. Kevin Durant goes back after Charles Barkley because he called him a follower. Justin Verlander had to respond with John Hyman
To a diva label.
to the diva label that he got in with the New York Mets.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I was watching a show the other day. There was an interview, and they were talking about negative news cycles, and studies have been done on this. The amount of engagements for negative news is 10 times higher than for standard news. And that's not even counting positive news. If it has a negative tilt, if there is conflict built inside of the story, it is 10 times more likely to get clicks. So the people who present information, and now with new media, it's just like it's completely on.
It's all
now.
about clicks.
It's all about drama, and it's all about gossip. So what you're going to get is it's going to be an inundation of negative. You can go down Yardbarker every day, and it's conflict type stuff, right? For the most part. And so now, of course, that's going to get spotlighted. That's a legitimate question, but now you have an instant answer from the player in. It's not the first time that somebody would have had because he raved about what a player Kevin Durant was, but just thought he was a follower. And he did talk about Kevin Durant on a podcast, talked about the fact that he's not a rah-rah personality in the locker room. He doesn't have that kind of charismatic background. He talked about, but of course he was eventually going to get back to Charles Barkley a little bit. But it is like you are going to get all the negative stuff. That's because that is what gets engagements, and everyone needs clicks. You need clicks to survive because you can't just – and that's why everything has to have an opinion, right? Politically and anything news-wise. You got to – if you just report news, that didn't get enough clicks anymore. You have to throw your opinion in there. You have to choose a side. So, unfortunately, it's made its way into sports too. We used to not have as much of it in sports, and now it's you got to choose a side, and then you need to come out with something. So, Justin Verlander's not even on the Mets anymore. Max Scherzer's not even on the Mets. But, of course, John Heyman, you got to – and it may be the context of, hey, the Mets are a different clubhouse now. That's fine. Lindor was – there was an article the other day I'm sure you saw about Lindor was part of the clubhouse problems at 21.
Yep.
That was the headline. But if you read the article, it was like Lindor's been great. Lindor's considered one of the team leaders. But back in 21, he was a problem. We're going back 3 seasons now?
Yeah.
It's because you just found out, so you got to take your shot at Lindor. Like, I don't know, man. And what is Justin Verlander's not on your squad anymore? Who cares? Who really cares? You know what I care about? If he's a diva with the Astros. Does he have some diva? Sure he does. He's a great player. All great players, most of them, have diva in them.
And did you hear what he said about – he said – and he even admitted early in his career to John is it Hyman, whatever.
John Heyman.
He said early in his career, I wasn't always the best teammate, he said. I was like a horse with blinders on running a race. I'm in it. This is what it takes to be as great as I can be. Don't get in my way. That didn't provide a lot of BS time. If you weren't on that wavelength, we didn't connect. Justin Verlander in Detroit was a guy that was driven, and you can't – I ain't got time for your BS. I ain't got time for this. What I got to do is be great. And that,
it's tough.
It is tough, especially in baseball with 162 games.
Balance, yeah. No, well, that's even harder.
Yes.
Yeah, it's easier in football than baseball. And you got road trips, and you're with your teammates.
Yeah,
and, the balance between – I thought it was weird that Roger famously wouldn't talk to his hitters about anything having to do with, like, they're your teammates, dude.
Yeah, but
they could be going against me. But, I mean, Tiger had that killer mentality. Jordan found time for some BS as long as it was on his terms, know. But, I mean, all these guys –
But he still was not a great teammate.
No, and I think like Tom Brady, by all accounts, has been a really good teammate.
And he's also been a tyrant on the practice field.
Tyrant, yeah. Well, he demands greatness.
Yes,
and some of that is what you're hearing from Justin Verlander too. But there is a balance as you get older in your career. You're going to think, man, there's the balance to be great with the human side because you still are a human. You still have human interactions, and what makes sports great is the camaraderie. This is why players miss professional sports. The ones who love it really struggle. If you're in it for the paycheck, of course you miss the paycheck. But the guys who love the sport, they miss a big part of it is missing the locker room and missing the camaraderie. And JV probably didn't care about it much early in his career, but I bet you he does now. But wasn't that long ago you were telling stories about the Astros didn't want him to throw out the first pitch because he hadn't been around all year long.
Yep.
I mean, that's real.
No, that actually happened. He wasn't around all season long. Now they
he was hurt.
And then
he was hurt. That's when he had the
saying,
arm.
You're just making stuff. I wasn't making stuff up.
No,
I heard it from a guy a player, and they didn't want Justin Verlander, and that's fine. Justin Verlander wasn't there all year. Who's been McCullers has been there, but you know what? McCullers. He probably feels pretty bad. He's never there, so he's in that locker room.
McCullers there all the time.
All the time.
Those guys are going to be down with Lance McCullers.
And even Justin said, "You know what? I was away from the team. I was away from it, and I understand it." The guys took him right back in. He's Justin Verlander, your best pitcher. Oh yeah, come on back.
Well,
That's
first of all,
fine.
the time that happened, don't forget, we thought he was going to be gone via free agency. Like, well, he's gone. Jim Crane re-signed him.
Yes.
Jim Crane re-signed him.
But there was no hard feelings in that locker room.
No.
They just said, you know what? This whole season has been about, we've done it, and Justin Verlander can't, we don't want Justin Verlander coming in here and taking,
Re-signed him and he
when
wanted
he
Cy
pitched
Young.
in six innings that season. How about when John Hyman asked for Justin Verlander, he said he was talking about Nolan Ryan, who pitched until he was 46 years old. Justin Verlander has a chance to, I guess. We'll see. I mean, the guy's been a horse. He's 41 years old, and he's still throwing great. He was 7-3 last year with the Astros when he came back here. Verlander stated that Ryan set the bar for power pitchers going forward. When Hyman reminded Verlander that Ryan is a 1 in a billion player, Verlander had a succinct response. So am I. And you know what? It's that kind of bravado. It's that kind of you can't be great unless you have that kind of mentality. Justin Verlander has been. I don't know about 1 in a billion player.
Well, but the point is well taken.
He is Justin Verlander.
I'm looking at it right now. Like Justin Verlander
who is the pitcher of this era?
I mean, you could say Kershaw, but I think it's more.
His lack of postseason success really.
Yeah, that's what really kills him. That's what really kills him. So Verlander, from a career win standpoint, is at 257. He's getting a 300. He's going to be one of our last 300 pitchers
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard because right now
that's even hard. He's got 43 more wins.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to pitch more than a year. He's going to have to pitch 3 years to get there.
Yeah.
So if he has a good year, I think if he doesn't have a good year, the likelihood of him sticking around for 300 is almost none. If he has a season where he gets to 15 wins, all of a sudden that becomes maybe something that would drive him. He's so driven by everything else, self-admittedly, that why wouldn't one of the great marks of baseball, the 300-win mark, that's going to become exceedingly rare with the amount of with the lack of quality starts that players have now, with the amount of money that's going to be in baseball, that's already in baseball, there's going to be fewer. There's going to be a smaller desire to continue to pitch until you're 40 because you'll be financially set. I just think the wear and tear on the arm. We see so many arm surgeries now that I just think that a guy like Verlander. I mean, Verlander's had only. This is amazing. He's only done 221 seasons. 221 seasons, and he's at 257. I would have figured he had a minimum 4 until I just looked at this. But you're talking about Justin Verlander has had, 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, was Rookie of the Year, has a World Series ring. I mean, yeah, he's not 1 in a billion, but he's in a very special category in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. Not only greatness, but he's got the LeBron greatness at a high level for 2 decades type stuff.
Verlander has 257. Greinke has 225. Scherzer has 214. Clayton Kershaw has 210.
Well, Scherzer, they're not getting there.
No, but I'm talking about who's the pitcher of this era.
If you look at that, yeah. I mean, there was a time where Kershaw was just unbelievable, but he really did. He has not. It's trailed off quickly for him. Scherzer has some dominance, but it's been the injuries that have, he would have been a 250-win guy right now if not for the injuries he suffered. Of course, JV missed, COVID years, we'll call it it's not even a half year. It was like a third of a year. But JV missed an entire year after that.
Yeah.
So, that robbed him of minimum 10 wins. He'd be at 267 right now. He'd almost be a lock.
I mean, he pitched 6 innings.
Yeah, minimum 10 wins. Yeah. And of the 2 years that he missed, we're talking about probably a minimum of, I would say, 14 to 15 wins of that time.
And he would be a lot closer. Let's see if he goes. He's got to go another probably 3 years. Maybe he doesn't get there, but there are, all these Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame standard now for pitcher is, it's changing, obviously. Roy Halladay got in there at 203. He's there's a lot of guys that have gotten there. John Smoltz got there with 213. Of course, he went to the bullpen too, though.
Smoltz only had 213.
How many do you think Pedro Martinez had?
225.
219.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
It's harder now.
It's hard. You start having injuries.
Well, not only that, a 5-man rotation. And the Astros are talking about 6-man rotation. We'll talk about that and more on the other side right here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. But first, I'm talking about HR&P. My peeps, if you're looking for the best way to get you got a business. You're growing. It's getting harder. You're expanding. You're making mistakes with your payroll. You might be making mistakes with HR. Don't make mistakes with HR. You don't want to do that. Vetting. You want to vet people. You want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with all of the regulations that you need as far as with the current climate, with cancel culture and everything else, and making sure that everybody's comfortable in your building. HR&P is there for you, especially if you need some training. If you have tax problems, you're in tax season right now. You are trying to figure out the Affordable Care Act. Don't. You don't know anything about it. Let H&P do it. They have experts in the Affordable Care Act. This is what they do. You don't do it. This is their business. Let their business help your business be great. HRP.net, 281-880-6525 or HRP.net.
Hey, everybody. You know what? I've done some dumb stuff in the stock market before, trying to game this. I'm going to sell this now, and I'll wait for it to go lower, then I'll buy the dip. And I feel like, what are you doing? You're just losing money, you idiot. Quit trying to goof around. Well, Craig DeSurf's the same way. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing paying these outrageous prices that on cars when right now we have a Buick Envision preferred where you can get payments as low as $99 a month on a 24-month lease. $99 a month, no money down. You heard that right. Now, there's some conditions in that in terms of who is going to qualify. So you need to reach out to the dealership to find out. But, you know, even if you don't qualify, they've still got rates at $299 with no money down for the same, for a lease that actually lasts longer than that. These are incredible offers. And for those of you who like to lease instead of buy, because every 2 to 3.5 years you want to have a new vehicle, take advantage of the new technology, the new interior, smell that new car smell. Hey, leases are great ways to go. And there's a lot of great programs going on at Gulf Coast Chevy Buick GMC, including the Buick Envision. Right now, they want to move the 23s off the lot, get more of the 24s on the floor. So, obviously, the brand new 23s are waiting for you at incredible prices. Don't miss out. Make sure that you head on out to Angleton. It's about a 42-minute drive from downtown, and the savings are substantial. It's Gulf Coast Chevy Buick GMC. You can start your car buying experience right now online at LanceZcars.com.
The Veritex Community Bank Studios currently contains 2 human beings, as well as 2 live western pygmy rattlesnakes and 6 emperor scorpions. You know, for protection. Here's John Granado and Lance Zerline.
I don't think so. Expensive.
Think it's too expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, pay him too.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN.
Justin Jefferson.
We're just talking about Justin
Tim
Jefferson.
Hasselbeck, Friday forecast. He said he thinks Justin Jefferson will get traded. There has been some rumors that he could be on the market potentially, just because every team, there's no doubting his greatness, but you look at every team with great wide receivers, and A.J. Brown has been dealt. Tyreek Hill has been dealt. It becomes really challenging. Now, you don't have a quarterback salary. The thing that would make it a little weird for Minnesota is the thought is if they go Kirk Cousins, it's very short term. If they draft a quarterback, which is possible, you're on a rookie contract. So why not keep Justin Jefferson? So that's going to be curious to see who is going to be on the trade market before the trade deadline, if there's going to be some veteran players. Because we know, like I said, Tyreek Hill wasn't that long ago. He's the best wide receiver in football, and he's getting dealt to Miami in a big game-breaking trade. So wide receivers are going to get dealt, and great ones will. It's just the new, with the amount of money that they're going to cost in pass rushers. Chase Young was dealt, although he wasn't playing as well. But Montez Sweat, Washington traded Montez Sweat rather than paying him. What you're seeing now is teams, they're not just going to let you walk and get a third-round compensatory pick, which is the highest you can get, if they know that they can get a first or second for you. And
so
they're
what are you
not
going to have?
re-sign
Okay,
you.
Justin Jefferson wants to break the bank. Whoever gets him is going to be paying the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, he will be.
He will be. Okay. There's no guarantee. I get. Is he going to continue to be the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Probably.
Probably.
Well, if you like Mike Evans after 10 years, you got like Justin after 5.
Yeah, probably. Yes. What do I have to give up? A first rounder?
A ton.
Or more?
I think it's going to cost you a first rounder based on Tyreek Hill's making $30 million a year, Devontae Adams $28 million, Cooper Kupp $26.7, AJ $25. Yes. If you now, Colts are a team that is makes sense because they have rookie contract. Okay, would you give up the 23rd for Justin Jefferson and pay him if you're the Texans?
I just don't know about $30 million.
Would you deal Nico? Okay,
for
you ready?
A wide receiver.
Ready? Would you deal Nico Collins in your first this year for the Vikings second?
And Justin Jefferson? Well, okay, so...
No. They're not going to... They wouldn't probably do that. They'll say, Nico's pretty good. All right, let's just make it second. I think they might want something more than that, but let's just say that.
They're going to want more than that for
Would
Justin.
you do that, Justin?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Vikings aren't asking for a first and a second.
Yeah. No, that's why my offer isn't big enough.
Yeah.
Well, okay, would you give up a first to Nico Collins for the Vikings fourth and Justin Jefferson?
Man, I just hesitate to pay. Okay, so it's okay now because we know what we pay running backs. We know what we pay safeties now. I guess it's okay that we have a $30 million wide receiver.
That's what the market is. Well, it's not okay for a lot of teams because a lot of teams are moving their wide receivers. It costs that much. It's whether or not you feel okay with doing it. Because Tua, the Dolphins right now are going to have to make a decision on Tua, and they're going to have to pay him. And they're kind of stuck because you got to pay, is that going to cost you other players at other positions? They're probably going to have to let Christian Wilkins walk. The quarterback salaries and now wide receiver salaries, these two salaries on one side of the ball are really making it tough to keep the rest of your team intact. You have to be great at drafting so you keep labor costs down at other positions.
But with the number of wide receivers that are coming out, I just don't know that I want to.
That's the thought. Okay, well, that's the philosophy. And so what happens, John, is every 5 years, philosophies will switch and change based on some of the analytics of what's going on. DJ had that great comment on the podcast he got from a team that said, why would we draft Brock Bowers and pay him, $5 million a year as a rookie, and then when he gets his next contract, he's gonna make 10 to 12 at the most, probably 12 million at the most. There's not that much of a gap. There's a $7 million gap at wide receiver. We might pay that $5 million, but then it's going to be next contract's $25 million. We got a significant discount on a player who can become a really good player early on. And so they have these philosophical, things switch and change. But let me hit you with this. Nico Collins, we're talking about paying him $20 million a year as a guy that you re-sign as your own. This is your top receiver. Okay, well, now we're talking about paying just 10. You're going to do it anyway. You'd be paying 10 or $11 million more for Justin Jefferson. So it's really only going to cost you about 11 to 12 million on top of what you're going to already have to do.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way,
is he 10 or 11 million dollars better than Nico Collins?
So then you have to ask another question. Does he change does he significantly alter? Does the scheme give you a chance to be as good or close to as good with players not named Justin Jefferson? I would tell you that I think he transcends schemes. I think he gets open no matter what. And yes, I think he becomes the Devontae Adams to Aaron Rodgers. Justin Jefferson would do that for C.J. Stroud. They would help each other, and he would elevate C.J. Stroud. I'm not saying Devontae elevated Rodgers, but of course Rodgers is great, but you can only be so great with average receivers. Mm-hmm. You gave him a great number one, and he's great. Now he's on a different level. Gronk and Randy Moss gave Tom Brady the chance to play a statistical ball that had been unseen from in his career. So yeah, I think Justin Jefferson. I mean, just in a thought exercise here. And I'm not a guy who's just take all the best players. And yes, you trade whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy at all. But I just think that he's going to cost you 10 to 12. It'll cost you 10 probably Nico's going to get paid now. It's going to be less than, it's probably about $7.5 to $8 million more than Nico Collins. I'd be willing to invest that and give up a 1. I'd want another pick in return, but it's not going to be like a second. It's probably going to be more like a 4th. I'd be willing to talk about that because I do think that he could take you to the next. He could help take your offense to the next level. But a lot of this is dependent upon Tank. But I don't think he needs anybody else on the field for him to.
Oh, I don't know.
To
Take him
catches.
on one side and take on the other, or the two of them.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but catches, he doesn't need anyone else to get his catches. He's great.
Yeah.
He doesn't need help because you got to have other guys. But if you had Tank who can stay healthy, and then you just throw a complimentary wide receiver out there who does his job, you get Darius Slayton here.
Xavier Hutchinson. I mean,
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, I don't think he's a ball winner. He's not really a great route runner. But, yeah, a guy like that could end up.
Well,
look at Noah Brown in this offense.
Yeah.
Xavier Hutchinson could, in this offense, he actually could get,
him.
He could get 56 catches, 62 catches.
Well, they had to like him. They had no choice but to like him because everybody was
everyone
hurt. Everybody got hurt.
They drafted him. They must like him.
726, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
So we're getting Justin Jefferson, guys. If we don't, the Colts will. So there's your choices.
Would that scare you if he goes to the
Or the
Colts?
Jaguars will.
No, the Jaguars won't. They put out so much into.
I
We
know.
were talking about this the other day on the Texans podcast. I don't know.
They spend
Giving all that
dumb
money to
money.
Christian Kirk.
Dumb money.
I
Slot.
just-
You're giving that money to a slot. Dumb
get it.
money.
I don't get it.
Dumb
I didn't get
money.
that at all.
You drafted Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson. They've done some things that have limited their own success.
Yep.
Without question.
All right. 713-780-3776. Basically a holiday show.
No, this is a hardcore sports right now. Is what we're doing.
I'm already bored with it. Did you see it was Miracle on Ice Day yesterday?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Somebody said they rewatched it and realized it was just a fluke. It was a series of fluky stuff. It wasn't really about grit. Like, you want to talk about wanting to have a contrarian opinion?
Oh, my God.
How negative
Who was it,
do you
Snacks?
have to be? No, it sounds like something he would say, but no, it was just somebody on
That's
Twitter.
ridiculous.
Somebody on Twitter who got
roasted. It
roasted.
was the greatest sporting event in U.S. history.
You amateurs beat a professional Russian hockey team.
Yes.
An all-star
that was
team.
that they lost 10-3 to
An
earlier.
all-star team.
Yeah.
It's the most improbable.
It was. You know what the odds? I don't even know that they put it out then. They probably did, but But who would have bet on the U.S.?
Bigger upset than Buster Douglas over Tyson.
Bigger upset.
It was a bigger upset.
Bigger
than
upset.
That. It would have been like maybe this is not accurate, but I feel like it would have been like a USFL, like an XFL team beating an NFL team.
XFL. Excuse me, but I'm pretty sure P.J. Walker would have beaten an NFL team.
Well, he has
3
before.
years ago. Yes, he did.
Would those offensive lines on an XFL team?
Yes. That offensive line.
Woo.
June Jones and his offense. No NFL team would have stopped that. Not that train.
They did actually in the NFL.
Time to talk about.
They did in the NFL. They actually stopped.
Doc Linville is what we're talking about right now. I'm talking about hair. I feel great. I don't know. Listen, Sean Mapes, you don't need Doc Linville, okay? You got a beautiful, beautiful locks right there. He's got to wear a headband. He's got so much hair. Okay, so Sean Mapes, this isn't for you. This is for you guys out there that are follically challenged. This is for you guys out there that are sick of, and especially if you're in your 30s and already you're feeling like, wow, I'm starting to lose my hair. Listen, it may not be neografting that you need, where you take the hairs from the side and the back and you put it at the top of the head. All you may need is the PRP. I'm going through that right now. So at 3 sessions at every 4 to 5 weeks, I go back. And in 3 sessions, I've already done 2 of them. And Kelly says it's going to be great. It's already looking great. She sees the little hairs starting to pop up already. This is the kind of thing that you're, and the results are amazing. She's going to show you the book of the guys who've done the PRP and the difference that it makes. You, my friends, need to go to 975hair.com and see for yourself. Kelly does an unbelievable, she's so good, and she's going to make sure that she does the best job for you, just like she's doing for me. All you need to do is go to 975hair.com. That's 975hair.com.
We now return you to the Veritex Community Bank Studios and your regularly scheduled programming. John and Lance.
We going to do that butt thing?
No.
What? Why did you do that, Sean? I mean, you're just like hell. You two are going to get along great. Okay.
Our own general manager says Nolan Ryan never had season-long injuries like Justin Verlander. Nobody. That's because nobody got injured in the 70s
Ever.
and 80s, like ever.
Because they never threw any curveballs. That's all that Nolan Ryan threw was some fastballs.
No, dude, he had a 12-6.
I know, but not as
But
much.
yeah, power pitchers typically don't. Although Justin Verlander has not had a ton of injuries, and he's been primarily
he just missed one.
You know, he's built from the legs. Everything comes from his legs. Kurt Schilling was another fastball pitcher who didn't have a bunch of injuries. Randy Johnson had a sharp slider. I don't remember him with a bunch of injuries. It's like the dudes from the 70s, not only did they, and here the big difference is they didn't play year-round baseball.
Yeah.
If you really want to know the truth, it's year-round youth baseball that has ruined the arms of a lot of players.
It's ruined life.
There's been burn JT out, didn't it?
Well, JT, no, he played every sport.
But didn't you say he got a little burned out on baseball?
Well, he didn't like. Well,
he just didn't like it as much.
Yeah. He didn't
okay,
like it.
that's different.
He didn't play year round.
That's different. But no, the arm stuff.
Baseball was too boring.
The arm stuff with pitchers is a real thing, man. Being able to you got to rest your. Did I tell you? I remember one time I was on Little League baseball. We were 13-year-old all-stars, and we had this guy named Brad Villers, who was a third baseman on the all-star team. We were doing 2-a-day practices in late May, I guess, it was into June for all-stars. We're doing 2-a-day practices, which is the dumbest. Just after a season we had.
Like you're in Japan.
Yeah, 2-a-day practices. Our arms, my arm was like it hurt. It really hurt. A 13-year-old. We just threw the baseball too much. He threw this is not a lie. From third base, he threw it. It was a ground ball. He threw to first, and his arm snapped. It went crack. You could hear it, and we're like, like a Doug Dravecki type thing. Yeah. The ball went flying into he was trying to throw to first from third.
Was the manager pissed that he didn't get the out?
At some point, I remember telling the manager, like, my arm hurts. He's like, you just have to put ice on it. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. This guy didn't. This guy was probably the same one. We used to have a guy at Richmond Roseburg this guy named Joe Castillo, and Joe would mow the field, but also deal coke.
Well,
he did both. He would mow
if you were mowing the field, you'd deal some coke too.
Yeah, he got in trouble for mowing the fields and taking care of which he did a terrible job because probably all the coke dealing. But we'd find rocks and broken glass on the infield, and then finally when he got busted for dealing coke or rocks or whatever he was dealing, we're like, no wonder our field sucked ass so hard. Yeah. That's because Joe was slinging yayo.
Well, that's all right. If you had to cut grass,
that's not all right.
You got to have a supplemental income. Okay,
that's fine, but at least get our stuff done right.
All right.
Don't be cutting corners on this.
Well, so you got to have priority. Which one's making more money? Sorry. Well,
Yayo's gonna make more money.
Yayo
but at
wins.
the same time,
all right.
Can we at least get our infield smoothed out? We got Walter Kelly firing rockets at us on infield practice, hitting fungos 1,000 miles an hour. Trying to field a fungo infield with backspin on it, and then it hits a rock. You got kids taking baseballs. I got to be careful with everything I say now.
Yeah, right.
A kid taking baseballs to the face.
Yeah.
Get people getting hit in the eye. We're practicing until our arms break throwing a baseball.
That's fine.
What the hell was going on in Little League? And now Lamar Little League is known as one of the preeminent Little Leagues. But back then we had guys slinging dope, and we had coaches who didn't know what they were doing.
It's baby steps. Okay, and listen, you were like the 2011 Astros, okay, and now they're like the 2017 Astros without all the trash banging, right? So you guys, they got a lot of first-round picks because you guys sucked so bad.
Maybe that's what it was.
And they got rid of the coke. Once they got rid of the coke.
No, it was good. Once we got rid of the coke dealing field maintenance guy.
Right.
Then
it took
and
off.
we liked him. Like he was a cool guy, but probably he was being cool because he thought I got to be cool to them. These could be future customers.
Future customers.
Like, we're only 13-year-old all-stars, Joe. Please don't try to Please don't try to push your rocks on us.
Rocks in the field, rocks in the pocket. Okay.
Got
Joe
a
was
pocket
ready.
full of stones.
Joe was ready.
He was.
With them rocks. Ryan wants to talk about Justin Verlander. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, sports fellas.
No, it's the wrong show, but go ahead.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, so Lance, you said Justin Verlander had nice legs. How are his feet? I was just wondering.
I don't know.
He's got pretty feet,
I don't care
probably.
about man feet. As a matter of fact, I hate man feet. Like, I hate it. I don't
You
wanna
even
ever
said
see
that
it.
you wouldn't mind getting your feet cut off. Remember that story we did
that
yesterday?
you asking about how much for a certain amount of money. One guy had his foot cut off to collect insurance for $1 million.
I think he had both feet cut off.
What a
For
terrible deal.
insurance. Yeah, and he said it was a farm accident. Instead, he had somebody chop off his feet.
And then they probably, you know why it was news of the weird? Because it became a story because they found out he probably didn't get paid on that insurance claim.
Right. He chopped off his feet and got nothing.
What a horrible deal.
He got an insurance fraud charge.
Can insurance at least give him $100,000 for
Something.
that?
Give him something. I mean,
no.
the effort is worth a little something.
No, but he's got, like me, he's got a bubble, and he's got the ability to drive. Like Roy Oswalt. Remember Roy Oswalt had thick legs. Billy Wagner was Billy Wagner he didn't skip leg days.
Yeah, no. But leg and butt days. No.
Yeah, Billy Wagner didn't skip.
Yeah, usually. Now, Pedro's the exception.
Yeah, he's little.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was little.
He's
It's really not about. It's really about how much you do. I know you're just trying to get off a foot joke, but it's about how you drive from your lower body. It takes the stress off the arm. I was watching. You know what? I've become a better evaluator of baseball now.
You have
because I watch reels of baseball people talking about pitching, showing stuff about pitching and Japanese baseball players and when to load the I'm going to be I'll be so right on so many things now when it comes to pitching and hitting.
You're going to be dead
No,
on.
I watch these videos
Probably
and I realize
100%.
Yeah, for example, Japanese pitchers, I was watching a whole video about rhythm. Your rhythm as a pitcher, and it's okay to change up your rhythm, slow the rhythm down.
Every time I
Don't
see a
be too
Japanese pitcher, I just think of Bugs Bunny.
Why?
Because the ball does all this stuff and spins
the guy
around.
actually had a pitch called the gyro pitch.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny?
No, a Japanese pitcher.
Oh, same thing. I mean, Bugs Bunny, it was impossible to hit, okay? And these Japanese pitchers.
Can we get a Japanese pitcher here?
Well, no, the Dodgers can.
The Dodgers get all of them. Why can't we get anything
because
Japanese?
we're not deferring $70 million a year.
Well, yeah, but I mean from the international market. Well, even then, we like to get our guys for like $200.
We do.
You saw those numbers like, well, that Astros signed Christian Javier when he was 20 years old, which is unusually old for $565. Like, whoa,
yeah,
man. They got Luis Garcia for $160 and Ryan Steakhouse gift card for $1,000.
That's great. No.
Yeah, no, we're great at that.
Hey.
What we're not going to do is overpay a Japanese import.
No, we own Latin America. We ain't diversifying.
It's been good so far.
Japan.
I'll stick with Latin America.
Okay, we had one Japanese player, the little left fielder, Waioki. Remember? We had him for about a week, and we traded him for.
Dude, this is true?
Oh my gosh, what happened there?
It says, Jason, one of our listeners says, I got 27. No, this can't be true. I got $27.50 for getting my toe cut off.
Oh, nice. $27.50.
Is this a real?
$2,750. That's it.
27.50. This can't be real.
Oh, $27,000.
This can't be real.
$27,000 for his cut off toe. That's not a bad price.
I couldn't have I just never want to get an appendage cut off.
Well,
when I see people in movies getting ready to get their fingers cut off.
No.
Like when I see that because the Yakuza's on there, and they're getting ready to, and it's like,
They're getting ready to what?
Cut off fingers.
Oh.
And I just think, just tell them
whatever it is.
Tell them what they need to hear.
Or pulling out their fingernails.
Oh man, I'm caving. I had so much respect for John McCain. All I could think of was, man, this guy's tough as a nail.
No, you're not giving it up.
As soon as they're like,
I'm giving up everybody.
What's
Lance's address? Let me call him.
I don't need a water board. I just need a shower that's too cold. Like, what do you want to know? What do you not have a tankless water heater here? Yes, I'll tell you where John lives. I just give you right up.
Oh no,
It'll be no problem. A shower that's too cold
no.
is one thing. You want to give me socks that are kind of itchy on the, like you put a pebble in my shoe? Oh. The worst.
Okay.
Can't stand that. Sheets that come off the bed.
My wife runs
prematurely.
every morning, and here's her route. Here,
Yeah.
let
I'll
me
tell
go.
you, here's the social security numbers.
Let me go.
What are you gonna do? I don't want to have this. Is too spicy. It's gonna hurt when I poo. What do you need? I'll tell you everything. Give it up.
I ain't giving.
You ain't taking my finger. I promise you. We won't get close to that, Yakuza.
No.
We're not even gonna get close to that. We won't have any problems.
We broke him. How? Cold shower.
Yeah. And if you're a psychopath, if you already have a psychopath look to you, I just think, man,
you look
I watch shows and I just think, couldn't be me. Would I be able to, I do a lot of this. Would I be able to do this?
Yes.
Like I could have stopped a goal I saw today. I saw a goal and I'm like, I could have stopped that one. But
okay.
This is one where I can't let my imagination run free. Would you be able to make it through this and turn, from this camp at this torturous camp in South Africa or wherever in Thailand? You remember that movie we saw?
Oh,
it wasn't
Vietnam
great?
or wherever.
Oh.
Yes. The Japanese prison camp?
I'm immediately trying to choke my own self out. That's not doing this.
No, I'll give it.
Talking about.
What do you want?
Where's my cyanide?
Here. No, he didn't do it, but he looks like he could have done it.
State's witness. Excuse me, sir. I'm here, sir.
Time to talk about Allstate siding and windows.
Allstate Windows and Siding is great company. It's owned by the same family for 4 generations. They're great. They are hardcore about the window. Like they can talk windows and siding with you, but it's really interesting to me. They developed one of their lead guys developed a process for removing windows that involves heating the glue. And I don't want to give up all the tricks of the trade, but they found a way to. Other companies have to break glass. They don't have to break any of your glass. They just take the windows out. They retrofit them and measure them. They come out and measure your windows. And the windows that you're going to get are made in Texas. They're made with Texas weather in mind. We all know what that means, man. It is all over the place. But the other thing you have to remember is that with Allstate Windows and Siding, they're going to give you a big discount for being an ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 listener. And not just the big discount for being that listener, they're also going to make sure that your work gets done the right way, and it can lower your energy bills by up to 40%. That's real. That's been studied, and it is a savings of up to 40% in energy efficiency when you have windows that are not leaky. They look way better, and then they give you that sense of safety as well as double pane, double strength windows. It's my good friends over at AllStateWindowsandSiding.com. Complete siding jobs get a discount. Windows get a discount. Just mention you heard about it from Lance Zerline on ESPN 97.5.
back to the Veritex Community Bank Studios and your daily distraction from the horrific reality of your very existence. Man, I didn't know it was that bad. But hey, it's John and Lance.
Hi, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, 713-780-3776 is the number. If you'd like to hang with us, Martin has been waiting, wants to talk a little C.J. Stroud. Let's get him in here. Hey, Martin.
Good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Morning. I was listening to a Spanish radio station. They were breaking down the women's Gold Cup tournament going on, and character came up. So the host, he allegedly said that he wanted an interview with C.J. Stroud, and he refused him. Not only did he refuse him, but he was rude about it. So I'm like, okay, no, allegedly. But then you hear about him and Amber Rose. So I'm just wondering, are we heading towards another Watson? I mean,
Wait, don't hang
the
up.
quarterback?
So wait a minute. So
We wanna
a
understand-
host, a Spanish radio host, asked C.J. Stroud to do an interview.
I think that he's talking about, and then he said no, but I don't. What else is the problem? Like, that's pretty normal for
Yeah,
somebody who refuses.
he refuses a lot.
Especially
they
Spanish
refuse a
speaking.
lot
He
of-
may want. He may be. Maybe he's careful about, because remember, some Spanish speaking baseball players don't love. They don't want to be misinterpreted or what, unless they have an interpreter. That's why sometimes they won't do an English speaking.
Well, let's face
interview.
it. C.J. has been on a world tour though since the end of the season, since the Super Bowl. He's done a lot of podcasts. He's done a lot of shows, mostly national, mostly prominent names, mostly NFL people. I could see. I have not. Have you heard him on a local radio show? Have you heard him on a?
I have not.
No. I mean, he gets a request 10 times a day to do interviews. So him refusing to do an interview, I don't know what the rudeness was or whatever. Just saying no, a lot of people will take it the wrong way. Whatever. All I know is that I'd like to see a lot less of CJ from now on. I mean, I'd like to. Is he on his way to Deshaun Watson? No. Let's hope not. No. I don't know why we would infer that for any reason, but I do think that that CJ has put himself out there quite a bit. Now, it would be nice if it calmed down now. We don't hear from CJ. Go enjoy your off season now. Go have fun. Go to beaches. Go travel. Go do whatever. Have yourself a big time. Get back to work then. Throwing footballs to Tank. That'll be fun. His podcast season, I hope, is over. I mean, not that, you know what, he's the toast of the town. Knew this would happen, right? Because he had the greatest rookie quarterback season maybe ever. So he is absolutely, he's cashing in and his fame is, but it's one season and you got a long way to go. Don't have to. I'm glad he turned down that station. If we asked him, I hope he turns us down. I hope he doesn't do any radio shows, to tell you the truth, or whatever, any more podcasts. Just go enjoy yourself, CJ. Have fun, and let's go. So Martin is back here. Martin, what now? You said the Spanish radio station asked him to do an interview, and he was rude about it.
Yes.
How so rude? What did they?
Well, I mean, he didn't specify what game, or but he said that him and his crew and another Spanish host asked him for an interview, and he said, "No, I don't have. Can you see I'm busy, bro? I'm gonna be squatting." But he did interview to another English-speaking reporter who did not know nothing about sports, because he asked him what position you play. But like I said, this is what he was talking about. And the host, he called him out for pretty much as being a fake, because he comes out on the interviews and as a man of faith. But when he asked for the interview, he was good about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's he said, I don't know. We appreciate it, Martin. I don't know.
Well, we're not there for it. I can't comment on it. I mean, I hope to God he doesn't become another Deshaun.
Well, no. Let's not say that ever.
Deshaun
Again.
was always
Don't
pretty,
ever say that again.
No, but Deshaun was always pretty friendly to people. I think for the most part, no jokes intended or anything. I think he was he put a public face on. I don't think he was that guy by the second or third year. I think Deshaun had really changed. I've heard he's changed. You do worry about when things come so fast for a player. They got to have great maturity to be able to deal with it. But, I mean, we saw Jose Lima changed after a lot of, popularity and fame. We saw it with Arian Foster. Like, that kind of stuff does, unfortunately, it does happen. Guys change. You want them to keep being great players, but sometimes it's hard to be a humble person when money, fame, excess, and you play really good. You're really good at your sport.
Well, not only
sometimes it's not going to be as great as you want.
You have to learn to say no too. Okay.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
You have to say no. You have to say no.
I think he said
it's going to piss off people.
He gave another interview though I don't know. Maybe he just wants to do interviews with people. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I really shouldn't speak to it.
No,
I don't know.
We have no idea. La raza que pasó, mijo.
Deportes.
No,
Deportes.
different show, that's in Spanish.
Hey, so this is version 2.0 of naming Dell's, the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday you came up with the Blitz. Yesterday, to recap for people, you came up with the Blitz. You came up with the Wheelhouse, and then you also, in a surprise move, came up with the Charlie Palillo show starring Dell.
I think I said that.
Yeah.
Was that you?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, you came up with that. Yeah, that was a banger.
Yeah, the Charlie Palillo show starring Dell.
Well, I came up with some new ones. Another one was Unfiltered with Dell, Sean and Dell.
Unfiltered.
And then also, what about Raw Dogging with Dell?
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Don't know if that one's going to make the cut.
Yep.
Okay. Well, and what about the beach with Dell and Sean?
Well, we're the bench, and so
This
that's
is the beach.
well, that is the bench.
Beach.
Well, that's us.
But it's pronounced different.
Well, in
But no,
Tennessee,
you're John
that's how you
you're
pronounce
John and Lance, not the beach.
yeah, you try to fight against it being the bench. Now he's maybe going to take our stuff.
Well, how about the
Be the
bench,
bench.
with Dell and Sean and
I like the bench. I like bench.
bench?
Yeah.
Bench.
Right.
Or what about Deportes Locos with Dell and Sean?
I like
or
that.
something like
I
that.
like that. Deportes Locos.
Right. What about Wake Up? Even though it's 10.
Oh, what about Second Take?
Cool. Oh, that's not bad.
Second
not bad.
take. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Good.
like these. Keep coming with these. We're going to come up with something that's good for the show before
What
we
do you
get
think
done
about
for the day.
What do you think about mine, Mopey and Mapes? What do you think about that?
Mopey and Mate. I like those.
Yeah.
What did you
What
think
about Granny's Fannies? Pounding Granny's Fannies? That one was good too.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Remember? Yeah, that wasn't
Granny.
what we.
Yeah, I don't
you
think
in fact said you shouldn't have read that out loud.
Right.
You in fact read it and said I shouldn't
I
have
read it
this.
and said, "Ooh, I should have read that first."
Slamming
before
Granny's fanny. It's terrible.
Man. Well, gentlemen, I had a simple question. It was going to be real quick. The All-Star games for both NFL and NBA suck. What can they do to just get more viewership? Because now it's pretty much just touch basketball, touch football. 200 points on the game, that's ridiculous. I mean, what can you do to alter that stuff, man? Actually make it more valuable to
Well,
the
they
game.
made the football. It's an experience of a wide variety of things and competitive stuff. It's probably smart that way. Basketball, it is crazy how basketball literally went from one of the coolest games of the year to just like, this sucks. Guys aren't even trying. Like, there's not even trying going on. And I don't think it can be fixed. I think you're going to have to basically bring streamers in if you want to get more viewers. Kai Cenat takes on I Show Speed, and then you'll have one of the Paul brothers there hitting a chair over somebody's head, and then Neon and all these. And I only know this because I just watched a YouTube video of a lot of these guys getting, people checking them in public and threatening with violence. Just bring a lot of streamers on. We won't care. We won't watch it anyway if they're going to be on, but it'll bring, like, my kids will never miss that.
So what about this? What about not in the middle of the season because everybody's worried about being injured and whatnot? Do it like the NFL in that you do it during the NBA Finals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But the team who's in the finals, you don't play theirs?
No, yeah.
So let me ask you a question. You're asking NBA players to play more games when it's their vacation time? They have a hard time playing when it's the season.
Yeah, that
the
is
best
true.
players like to take some. They like to rest. Did you see the big report came out on load management? And they found it does nothing. They found no difference with load management. No difference in the study. Yeah, I think you'd have a hard time getting the best players. It would be like a Pro Bowl opt-out,
And
basically.
how bad is that? Did you see Buck Showalter doing an interview? He was on with on NMLB. What's the show with the guy from Boston? Anyway, he was on there, and he was like, yeah, when I was at the Mets, oh, yeah, a guy'd get 2 doubles. He played center field, and he'd get 2 doubles. And the next day, they'd come in and say, well, according to our studies, he's going to be tired, so he shouldn't play today. And he was like, he just hit 2 doubles, and you want me to sit him? Really? This is what you want me to do? Sit a guy who just had 2 doubles? What about that he's seeing the ball really well right now? How about that? Because his legs are tired. He's 24, and he's a center fielder.
Yeah.
He's too tired to play today?
There's legitimate fatigue that sets in. So a lot of NFL teams are now trying to quantify it through they've been doing this through their catapult. You wear, it looks like the sports bra. You guys have seen it before. You said, he's wearing a sports bra. That's catapult. So it's a wearable technology, and it measures heart stuff. It measures how far
Just
you.
for that, I was at the U of H game the other day, and they were playing Iowa State. And there was this white kid that they had no chance of getting on the floor in the layup line for Iowa State. And that's all he had on was the sports bra. And I thought, that's a bad look, son.
In the layup line?
In the layup.
He didn't have a jersey on?
No. It's like, son, that's a bad look. Put a shirt over that. It just looks like it.
I know you think you're cool because
that's
you know
why
it's
you're not playing.
You know it's catapult, but everyone here doesn't know what catapult is. But basically, they track how hard you run. Like it tracks your speed, your work rate, your and they can tell. They're using this to tell if guys are loafing or if guys might be injured.
Right.
Is one of the things, but everyone's looking for a way to track fatigue so they know when to. Listen, just ask Kawhi Leonard when he's tired. He'll tell you.
Yeah, don't worry.
You don't have to track anything.
I don't know that Kawhi's the best. Okay. It's ask Dylan Brooks when he's tired.
You tell me when I have to pull you out.
Yeah, right. All right, let's take a break. And we got a full board. Today's caller day. I guess everybody's phone is working today as opposed to yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that
How about
amazing?
that?
I got mine back at I know exactly when I got back, 11:33.
Yeah, right. John Daspit, when did he get his back?
He got it back yesterday because he called me and I had a conversation with John Daspit, as a matter of fact. And he is going to be here working for you as a personal injury lawyer. There have been people who have been badly injured who have, and you maybe know some of them, who made the huge mistake of if you're badly injured and you start to file a claim against insurance, the other people's, insurance, car stuff, but you say, hey, I also had to go to the hospital. I got these hospital bills. Oh, no, we're definitely going to get you taken care of. The insurance company will reach out to you and tell us what happened. And you tell them, and okay, well, we'll definitely cut you a check. We want to make sure that you don't have to pay for those bills. So what happens is they have you sign sign a waiver, and you no longer can reach out and seek any more compensation. You'll get that check, you'll cash it, and a lot of times what happens, unfortunately, is people end up having consistent problems with that knee, the back, whatever. You got to go to physical therapy. That's on your dime now, and that shouldn't be. John Daspit understands that. He fights for the physical therapy. Any surgeries you have to have, any hospital bills, you miss time at work because of your injury, you need to get compensated for that. And we haven't even gotten to the pain and suffering of whatever the injury was. And there's certain injuries that require more. There's loss of life sometimes where families need to be compensated and taken care of for losing someone that might be a breadwinner. These are all terrible things that happen, but John Daspit's there to fight for you on your side as Houston's premier personal injury lawyer, a guy with years of experience, and he will fight hard for you. 713-CALL-NOW, 713-CALL-NOW, or go to DaspitLaw.com.
John plus Lance equals a damn good start to your day and a damn early start to Dell's day. Live in the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's John and Lance.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-3776. 713-780-3776 to hang with us here. We got a full board here. Who's first? Rusty? Rusty's first. Wants to talk to Lance for some reason. Hey, Lance. Rusty.
Oh.
Hey, good morning, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller on the Matt Thomas Show. It's good to be here.
This is not. This is
a different show.
This is a different show.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, the girl answering the phones, she sounds kind of hot anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
Okay.
So the barbecue question. So for brisket, I was thinking smoke a brisket, and right before or when you wrap it, you dump it in a vat of birria sauce and finish it in that sauce, and
Ooh.
maybe it'll just fall apart in your hands when you try and remove it. What do you think?
I never thought about that, but that's interesting. That's not going to be the well, you basically no, it's not going to fall apart in your hands because it's a brisket. But the finish with the birria sauce is interesting. But if I'm doing info line right now, what I would tell you is that we're going to maintain, we're going to stay in our lanes here, and we'll use the birria for the birria, and for now you can potentially baste if you want a little bit late before you, as you mentioned, before you wrap. But I would not go over the top with it. If you're going to wrap your brisket, you simply want to get that, maybe put it in a cooler, take it off, get that steam going, and then let it rest for about 45 minutes to an hour. Let the cook finish, and then we'll slice it. But it's not going to fall apart in your hands.
Why you're giving brisket advice?
Because I am a brisket guy.
Okay.
Am I the best brisket guy?
Appreciate it, Chef.
Yeah.
Am I the best brisket
Thank
guy?
you, Chef.
No, I'm not.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, yeah. You can say herd chef. That's how you say that. You say
herd chef. Okay.
Herd chef.
Okay.
That means I heard you. I understand. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Rusty.
Rusty.
Yeah, that's some of the steak. Now, I'm really a steak perfectionist. I perfected the steak. Brisket, I've gotten really good. I'm really good at ribs, but the steak is really where that's my zone.
Yeah.
The steak is my zone, actually.
Yeah, but brisket doesn't seem to be.
No, it's good. It's good.
Mm.
You heard wrong.
Okay. I don't know. I just saw it with my eyes, my human eyes. Longhorn Scott wants to talk about Johnny Manziel for some. Well, you know, I could see this going awry. What's up, Longhorn Scott?
No, actually, I wanted to. Well, I do, but before that, I have an idea for Dale's a Dale show.
Dale show.
I don't know if this name's been used, and it may be too long, but I'll let y'all decide. And then we'll get to the Johnny Manziel thing. How about this? Soccer Matters with Dale Olale, ole, 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 ole. Would that be too long?
But
it is long, but it's still a good. I like it. Soccer Matters with Dale Ole, 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 ole. I like it. Ole, ole.
Well, you know, run it through the focus groups, you know, see what they say. But anyway, and I'll give you full credit if you work with it. But anyway, no. So yesterday, and my phone, I'm an AT&T guy naturally, and my phone wasn't working. I wanted to call him, but all the talk about Johnny Manziel, it transported me back to 2013. Remember when he did the pro day in College Station, and he had the guy was holding the brooms, and he's had the hip hop music playing. It was
I was there.
Kind of half club.
I was there at it was
right?
First of all, it was 2014, but I was at that pro day. It was different. He wore pads and a helmet. Never seen that before, and I don't think I've ever seen that since.
Right. So then the next week, you guys were doing something where y'all were like, "Hey, call in and give us your best song or whatever." So I whipped out on the fly, I pulled over and scribbled this song, and Lance, I texted you about it yesterday, but may I give it another go because it's seared into my brain. I will never forget it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember how it sounded.
It's like this. So last week in College Station, and I had my pro day, just to see what all the NFL GMs would say. It went well, so I got a little tipsy. A day in the life of a modern-day gypsy. Woo, woo, gonna tell your fortune. Woo, woo, how about a new roof? Woo, woo, maybe some new asphalt. A day in the life of a modern-day gypsy. Because I don't know if that rings any bells, but
No.
that was led up to with all the gypsy talk. Because anyway, is that ringing any bells?
It doesn't ring it. No, but I'm glad you.
I didn't know
I feel like
gypsies-
I heard it for the first time, but
I didn't
okay.
know gypsies did roofing and asphalt.
Yeah.
work. Not here in Houston. It
So much.
looks
no.
different, but
I also, I'll just close by saying this. I do recall that there were some Roma folk maybe that called in and weren't happy about it, but okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
Scott, can you give us this real quick? SEC. I can't get my wife to do that. She said she would never do. She thought it was so lame whenever she was in the Big 12. But now that you guys are in the SEC, kind of, are you going to start chanting SEC?
I have been very consistent with this when asked about it. The one time you're going to hear me chanting that, the one time is going to be on November 30th of this year when Texas hangs number 77 on A&M in College Station, and I will be there. I already told my wife, I go, I'm going to pay whatever I have to be there because I will not miss that when we hang number 77 on them, and I will absolutely chant SEC in a mock way, of course, because it will complete the undoing of their alleged, self-inflated, whatever, sitting higher than the Horns. Or anyway, it's just too good. But no, otherwise, no. Screw conferences. I'm a Longhorn fan. I don't care about Ole Miss, Mississippi State. If they do well and my Horns don't do well, my team didn't do well. I'm not going to coattail, and that's the fact. That's how most people are. So no, I don't root for conferences. I root for one team, my university where I graduated from. Hook 'em Horns, screw everybody else.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
No.
That's how it should be. Cheering for your own conference is the weirdest move in the world.
Well, here's the thing in the SEC. Nobody's ever going to see Horns down.
I wish you'd stop doing that. Sean Mapes is a Longhorn.
Ever. Are you a Horn? You're a Horn, right?
Yeah,
Mapes?
what are we doing?
I mean, that's a
just got
slur.
ugly. That's ugly.
There's
That's
going
a
to be
hate. That's a hate.
there's going to be
crime.
a new level of
HRP.
disrespect.
That's a hate
for
crime.
your university.
When you do horns down like you just did with your hands,
Yeah.
that's a hate crime.
What was the HRP?
Oh
Number.
yeah, do you have a
Website?
spot coming up
Yeah.
about that?
It's right here. I got it in my computer. Okay.
Oh, you
We're
can't keep
gonna
doing.
get kicked off YouTube. All right.
You can't keep doing
this
horns
stuff.
down.
Okay.
Have you seen people penalized for doing it?
I've seen. Yes.
Have you seen people?
I've never. I love how butthurt Texas fans are.
Have you seen
Rodney
people
Terry is my favorite video. Okay.
Yep.
Getting butthurt because the other players are doing horns
Have
down.
you seen students have to be taken out of stadiums for having horns down?
They'll
and
never
they had to
make
put
it.
shirts on. Yes
Listen,
or no?
You'll never make it in the SEC if you are going to be butthurt about horns
Well,
down.
is it bad to have class? How have we lost all of our class now in
The
society?
SEC, there is no class. Trust me. There's no class.
Did you see
The
someone
stuff
try to
I've
throw?
heard at
Did
LSU
you see
games
someone
is-
try to
is-
throw a glass bottle at Lee Corso? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you see somebody try to throw a golf ball at him?
I saw someone that I know really, really well
Wendy?
throw a liquor bottle. Not
Wendy
Wendy.
did this?
Not Wendy. A liquor bottle at the LSU players
Frankie,
because they didn't score in the first half. Go into halftime.
shut up.
Yes.
They threw a liquor bottle at him?
Threw it.
That's
I
not
was
classy.
Like, what are you doing? They suck. Oh, wow.
You know what?
That's your team.
Yeah. That's giving horns down.
No.
That's what that's
Horns
giving.
down is-
Horns down vibes.
That's horns down is nothing. And if you're butthurt about that, you ain't making it in the SEC.
I don't think it's butthurt. It's just like you just it's a hate crime.
It's not a hate crime.
I've been
Okay.
told it is.
Oh yeah, I know you've been told that because you live in a sensitive ass house. Okay.
No, my wife doesn't. Well, although she does.
Does she
She
hate
has
horns
said
down?
people are. She has. I have heard her.
Everybody does it.
I have heard her
Lean
say.
into it. Texas
I have
fan.
heard her say she's seen people on like Iowa State doing it and said "effing losers"
What? Listen,
because she's like, you don't get to do it. They'll even tell you Sooners get to do it. You don't get to do it either, Aggies. Like they don't want Aggies
everybody
because it's
is
actually.
gonna. By the way,
But it's actually become new. It's like it's only over the last. Well, okay, Oklahoma did it forever, but everyone else didn't. But now it's a thing, and now they know you don't like
No,
it.
yeah.
It's like,
now
come
you
on.
know you're that's that.
You
That was
gave
the first thing.
First of all, Rodney Terry basically
He
alerted
hurt
the rest of the world.
He hurt
if you go play a football game in
It
China,
was before this.
if you go to
It was
China for
before.
a football game, Chinese fans are going to be hitting you with, but well, no, they're actually not gonna do
They're
that because
classy.
they're classy. Yeah,
classy.
the Asian community is gonna be real classy. But if you go to
They
Mexico
will
City,
actually-
if you go to Mexico City and
Oh,
play a game in
God.
Mexico City,
No.
you're gonna get horns down.
Yeah.
because now they know. If you go to
No, but this
to
is
Germany,
before.
you're gonna
when
get
the
hands-
SEC came out with if a player does a horns down, or the Big 12 came out with a player does a horns down on his way to a touchdown, he's going to be penalized. Soft ass Longhorns, stop being soft.
And look at this. Somebody said that CJ wouldn't give a Spanish-speaking radio station an interview, but our intern, Lexi, look at this. She's got a picture. CJ, may I have a pic with you? And then look what happened. She got a picture with CJ.
You see, CJ's not racist.
See? What? No one said he was racist.
I know.
Well, no, they said he wouldn't give a. Why do you do that? No one said that. He just said he didn't want him to become like Deshaun Watson, like too full of himself.
Well,
No one said racist.
I said he's not.
Lex
I
is
didn't-
Hispanic for people.
Yes.
They can't see the picture.
Right.
Okay.
Lexi's Hispanic.
So just so you know, and she
Yeah.
got a picture, and he seems like a nice guy in that picture.
Right. Derek DeSola is one of my people, I think. His name is DeSola. I don't know. I don't care, but he is an expert in safes. He is an expert in locks. If you are with Houston Safe and Lock, which he's the owner of Houston Safe and Lock, along with a couple of other guys, he knows safes better than anybody. Every day he's doing safes. Every day he has got showrooms. King's Safe and Lock, which is at Work 910, and Houston Safe and Lock, which is at Westheimer and the Beltway. He has got showrooms of safes. He's got a warehouse of safes. You're going to get a better price on your safe because he buys it in bulk. When you buy in bulk from American Security, you're going to get a better price. The other safe people that you're going to go to probably don't have a showroom, first of all. Secondly, don't have a warehouse, okay? And they're buying their safes one at a time. You buy something one at a time, you're paying more. So if you're buying a safe, get it from the guy that's got a bunch of them, and he's got them stored, and he can get it to you same day. This is happening every single day at Houston Safe and Lock. You need a safe. Listen, put your gun away, put your jewelry away, put it all. If you've got a business, you need a safe. You can bolt it to the ground. They do it all. They do everything with safes and locks. It's Houston Safe and Lock, 713-522-5555 or 975safe.com.
Under a physician's observation from behind the glass at the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's John and Lance.
Yeah, I agree with this. That picture of Raheel, the Lululemon picture.
Yeah.
Okay. That's got to be in the background of Dell and Sean's show. What about this new backshot and the show name, The Muslim Dell Show?
I don't think that.
The Muslim Dell Show.
I don't think that makes any sense.
Are you Muslim in any way, shape, or form, Sean?
No, not in any
Nor is
way,
Dell.
shape, or form.
No. Okay.
No.
Dell's not. Are we sure?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Dell has.
I don't know
I've
what
never
his.
Dell doesn't
specifically
believe in
talked to him
anything.
about it.
What are you talking about? Dell is an existentialist. He is Bartleby the Scrivener.
He may be. We don't know. No one knows for sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure he knows what he is.
Okay, I'm going to read you the definition of existentialist,
Yeah. He doesn't believe in anything.
and I want to see if this sounds like Dell. Okay, let's
Okay.
just play this little game. All right, let me see. What does an existentialist believe? Existentialists believe the nature of existence varies and is individualized to each person. We are defined by our own existence, and our own existence is made up of our own relationship to other people and things in the world. They believe each person must choose and commit to meaning and direction in life. That's not what I'm looking for.
That's not it.
That's not really what existentialism is that I know.
You really don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
It just is.
Life has no meaning.
Right.
Go watch Waiting for Godot.
Life has new meaning to me.
Here's okay, existentialism. An adjective. Wait, existential. Okay, existentialism.
Why? Why are we doing this
I don't
again?
know.
I forget.
I'm pot committed now. I'm in too deep. I got to read this.
I like the Mapes show with Dell.
Okay, here it is.
I like that one, too.
Now, is this Dell?
Oh, hello.
A 20th century philosophical movement embracing diverse doctrines, but centering on an analysis of individual existence in an unfathomable universe and the plight of the individual who must assume ultimate responsibility for acts of free will without any certain knowledge of what is right or wrong, good or bad. So there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. It's an unfathomable universe. It's basically you don't have a true belief system. This is Dell. This is Dell. Don't overthink it. So does he have a religious belief? I don't know, but I'm just going to put him on no.
I don't care about all that. What I do care about is that we did have Kaz Matsui. Remember, we were talking about Japanese players. We also had Aoki. Remember, Aoki was he part of the go-go trade? You remember?
Yeah, that's right. We did have Aoki.
We had Aoki and Kaz Matsui. We had Anal Fishers. And
Can you, for people who weren't following the Astros before they got cool,
okay.
can you tell people what we had? You just said, don't save this, Sean. You just said we had blah, 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 and blah, 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 Fishers, blah, 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 blah. There, no one's saving that.
Okay.
You just said that.
No, right.
Say what that is. Kaz Matsui once was missing time from the Astros with that.
With that, because
and how that got
they
out on
said
the
it
injury
was-
report, I have no idea. You just say lower body injury. You don't say,
no,
he's hurt with anal fissures, because then we had to Google it.
He had anal fissures, and he was actually hemorrhoids, right? They didn't. That's for I don't know.
Doesn't matter. How'd that get put out in the
They didn't
public?
have a word in Japan for
the
they
disrespect.
put out anal
the
fissures.
disrespect to put that out in public.
Yeah,
You just say he has a lower body injury. He's out.
right.
He's questionable. That's all you got to say. But yeah, we had that as a Japanese player. That's fine. Not good. Waste of money. Paid him over $6 million a year. That's actually by today's standards good money.
Yeah,
For a middling backup infielder, you got $6 million a year?
that's No, he had a nice.
That was back in the day. That was a dumbass contract.
Are we?
He would smoke cigarettes, if I remember correctly, like in the dugout.
Yeah, he was great. I love that guy. Loved Cass. I didn't love the anal Fisher thing, but okay. Did you see Tiger's son Charlie played in a qualifier?
No, how'd he do?
Qualifier for a tournament. 86.
That's shocking. I
Yeah.
expect him to be really good.
He's a kid. He's 15 years old. He's going to get better. He had a I think he had a 12. He had a 12 on a par 5.
probably going for everything.
Well,
I guarantee you, Charlie probably doesn't try to lay up.
No, Charlie.
You think he 10-cupped it and just kept dropping a ball and trying to hit it over?
Either that or he just shanked it. Whatever. That's happened in life.
Hey, one thing that we have not talked about today, and I do want to mention it, Rockets lost last night. It's their first game back. You know, they started off red hot. They were dropping threes on everybody, and I was thinking, man, this is going to be a good game. Now, New Orleans was hot too. So both teams were scoring at a high rate. New Orleans had 31 in the first, Rockets like 27, something like that. They both offensively got off to a really good start. Rockets, midway through the second, kind of lost it, headed into the half. And then the second half was just terrible. But, man, you had Şengün had a really, really tough time yesterday around the basket. He was getting dominated, and it was not good at all. But they did not come out with the new starting lineup. I like seeing Amen Thompson in there. He's definitely going to be playing more. Amen is definitely going to be a factor. The broadcast had a little poll. Which player do you think will close out the strongest in the second half of the season? And it's Cam Whitmore, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, or Jabari Smith. Who is yours? How would you rank them? Who do you think closes out the strongest?
Amen, Cam, who else? Jabari, and Jalen?
Yeah.
Probably Jalen.
I mean, who would you make two?
Amen.
Okay, that's what mine was.
Yeah.
The fans had Cam 1, Jalen 2. No, Jalen and Amen were tied, and then Jabari last. Jabari is probably going to be last just because the nature of what's expected of him. It's not going to really pop. You know, he might with rebound. Is anyone going to get super excited when he's grabbing 11? I will, because I'm a rebound guy. But 11 boards, 12 boards, no one's going to get excited about it, even though that helps you win games potentially. But the guys who will, you know, you brought it up yesterday, Jalen plays really well in the second half of seasons. He's had a tendency to really kick it up in the second half of seasons. So, but I still think Amen Thompson, to me, I think Cam Whitmore could hit a wall. But Amen Thompson, I have a funny feeling. You remember he's had, of course, both he and Cam have missed some time, but I think we're about to see Amen Thompson really keep growing up. Amen is going to end up being a really, really important draft pick for the Houston Rockets in the future. Mark my words. What he gives this team, and then my expectations of what he still has left to how he's going to grow offensively, I think Amen Thompson's going to be. He had a shot yesterday that was absolutely incredible. Spin dribble, it headed down the left side of the lane, spin dribble around the defender, went up and under and threw got some side spin on it and threw a circus shot off the
his
underneath
hops
the
are
basket.
incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a shot blocker. Like, man, I love him.
Of the 2, 3, and 4 picks, Jalen, Jabari, Amen, who will have the best career?
Say it again.
The 2, 3, and 4 picks. Jalen was second, Jabari was third, Amen was fourth. Who will have the best career?
Jalen, I got you. Jalen, Jabari, Amen, the best career. God, that's actually kind of hard. I mean, you know, people are going to write Jabari off. I think it's a mistake because I think he's got a chance to really have an impact on winning. He just statistically is not going to look as sexy as Jalen because Jalen's going to be a scorer in his career. I just don't know if he's going to have any impact on the league, like other than just empty points. I'm not saying Amen.
You think Amen's going to have the best career of those three?
I think he is because I think he's going to play a long time. Defense doesn't. He's a really explosive. He's a really explosive athlete. If he's already good defensively, he has a great work ethic. He's going to get better offensively. He's just a complete he hasn't even begun to show, what he can do offensively potentially.
What about Jabari or Jalen next?
Well, I think for the Rockets it'll be Jabari. I think Jalen will be somewhere else, but Jalen's going to be. I think he's going to average over 20 points a game for his career.
Really?
Yeah. He's a good scorer. Yeah, he may be a volume shooter. He's not the most efficient player. He had some nice threes yesterday. The stroke actually looked a little better. I think Jalen's going to be okay. I just don't know that he's the right fit for Houston.
They looked awful. We were watching
the first half. They didn't. The second half was a suck.
On the other side, we'll talk about this because it's 8:30. But there's more to talk about here. Right now, though, I'm talking about Chastain Ford. My people over at Chastain Ford, I love them. You're going to love them too. Listen, this weekend, where are you getting? Get your truck on. Get your truck on right now at Chastain Ford. Chastain Ford, it's truck month. They've got discounts. They got to get the 2023s off the lot. They are, I'm telling you, this is the best time period ever to buy because they don't want 2023s on the lot in March. They're getting rid of them. That's why they have truck month in February. Get rid of them. Get them off the lot. 1.9% financing for 72 months. It's ridiculous. 6 years, you got their money tied up, and you're paying low prices with 1.9% financing. It's ridiculous. No add-ons, no markups. They're not going to charge. By the time you get done with another dealership after you agreed on a price for the truck or you see the sticker or you see what the discounts were and you walk out and it's still $3,000 or $4,000 more, you're like, what the heck happened? What happened? I thought it was going to be this price, and look what it is now. That's not whatever happens at Chastain Ford. You're looking for the best truck on Truck Month. This is the time to get to Chastain Ford on 610 at Homestead, not Hempstead. 5 minutes from downtown, Chastain Ford.
The Veritex Community Bank Studios currently contains 2 human beings, as well as 2 live western pygmy rattlesnakes and 6 emperor scorpions. You know, for protection. Here's John Granado and Lance Zerline.
All right, welcome back on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-36. We still got an hour and a half left of this show. Let's go. 713-780-3777.
Lord, guys, kill a few segments off.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, you were calling, and then we could just sit there and listen to you jabber. We got Longhorn Scott singing to us, which was awesome. We got I don't know, CJ being accused of being anti-Hispanic.
Spanish-speaking interview. Well, the question was, is he going to change and become like Deshaun? But not in that way, just not be our own fun little quarterback. It's always a concern.
Yeah, but
like I'm
our
shell-shocked
intern
from the,
disproved that whole
yeah,
theory.
she got a picture with them. She said, can I take a picture on a piece of paper, handwritten? And CJ came and took a picture at a Rockets game. But I will say this. I do live with concern. I am shell-shocked after there's some PTSD after the Deshaun Watson stuff. So there's always same agent. I don't, for just whatever reason, I'm always going to live a little on edge that our favorite CJ, maybe gets to where he's less approachable and less likable and more cranky. You just never want that to happen. You want it to be like Altuve. And by the way, Altuve, and frankly, JJ stayed like that pretty much his entire career. He's more sassy now than he's ever been.
Yeah, and
JJ
I
will
don't
come
mind
back
if
at
CJ
people.
gets sassy after he's done.
He's already sassy on the Pivot podcast telling him, where did you play?
Yeah.
Florida. I thought you played at Alabama. I thought you actually played at a good team. They won national championship. They beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
CJ.
We don't know that. Did you see Bill O'Brien's introductory press conference at Boston College?
No. Do we have sound? Is it probably boring? It would probably nothing. Right?
No. Well, actually, that he reflected on. He was asked about his career as the Texans general manager. So he was the coach, obviously. He said this. Bill O'Brien had this to say. We didn't really get to where we wanted to get to because of a series of events that happened. I ended up having the general manager title. Looking back on that, that's not really who I am. I'm a coach. That's what I do well. So probably took a little bit too much on my plate, and it didn't end very well. But we had a good run there. He said, I'm always very grateful for my time in Houston. People don't always agree with how that tenure went for me, but I think we were very successful there. It just didn't end well. We made some mistakes that didn't end up very well. I think that's a pretty, you know what? He has to be honest since, he was the worst general manager in NFL history.
He acknowledged it. He was an a-hole all along the way, though.
Yeah.
He made people who Bill O'Brien,
he was
on a personal
tyrant.
level, was a tyrant who made people not want to come to work and treated people like total dog turds.
Yeah. Well, he came from that Belichick school.
Bill Belichick, I don't think ever treated people on a personal level like total dirt. No. He was paranoid. He was, one day he'd be happy, the next day a complete and total nightmare.
So look at the guys.
He did come from, yes, he came.
The Josh McDaniels, the Charlie Weisses, the Bill O'Briens.
Well, they're not personable.
But the Brian Daboll, apparently that locker room, that organization, he's a tyrant.
He was a Saban and Belichick.
Apparently, there's stories out there about Wink wanting to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because they come from a place where it's a dictatorship, and if you ain't following the dictator, then you are going to catch it. And Bill O'Brien had that same mentality.
But it was worse. On a personality level.
I don't know. Daboll's pretty bad.
No. This was fundamentally, he wanted people fired in the building who didn't even matter. And Jack made it worse.
Well,
I think Jack helped make him more paranoid.
Yeah.
But he MF'd people who were doing their jobs. He was Bill was on a level that was, and they say outside of the building, he could be really cool. People who talk to him, and I think there was that. I think he did have that side. But I also think that he just fundamentally doesn't know how to treat people. I think he has, an issue personality-wise with just dealing with people. And it's really, really bad. And you can say you're going to learn from it, but I don't think he ever will. I think he's acknowledging the problems. But will he truly acknowledge how bad he was as a GM? I mean, I wonder if he truly knows how terrible most of the things he did.
He did say we made mistakes.
He did say that,
yeah.
But I would.
And he was in out over his skis.
Did he say that?
Yes, he said.
Okay, tell me where he said that.
He said, "Grateful to the teams we had." Blah, blah, blah. He said, "We really didn't get where we wanted to do. I ended up having to be the general manager. Looking back on that, that's really not who I am. I'm a coach." And that's what I do well.
Okay.
He acknowledged that he's not a GM.
All right. I have respect for that. But I'd also like an itemization of the things that you think you messed up on.
No.
Yes?
No, he doesn't need.
Yes?
No,
let me do it for him.
He's doing the short form,
Let me
the
do it for him.
IRS short form. He's not doing an itemized.
Tunsil trade 2 firsts, first of all, but also not having a contract done. There's one for you. Trading Jadeveon Clowney for a third. There's 2 for you.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Trading DeAndre Hopkins, not even getting a first. Trading for
and
David
taking
taking on David Johnson's contract, which was totally unnecessary. You were already doing him a favor by giving him a discount on that. They should be taking a bad contract off your hands.
Worst trade in NFL history.
Yes. Let's see. We'll also go with there's one right after that. There was a terrible move after. Well, he didn't last much longer than that, actually, but there was another terrible move after that. This can't be all the terrible moves. I know there's lots more in the bag.
Jadeveon Clowney, DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm forgetting a big one.
Laramie Tunsil.
That was all one, like, over 2 seasons. But there's another one, too.
I don't remember. And did he have a signing that was just awful? Whatever.
No, this is not nearly enough. We're just blanking on this.
Yeah.
Because, wait, is he the one that did the Brock Osweiler deal? He had to have. He was there with Rick Smith.
No.
You think Rick did it and Bill's like, I didn't want Brock? You think Bill O'Brien was going to let Rick just put a quarterback on him? That was Bill.
He also didn't start Deshaun Watson in that first game.
First half.
Yeah, right.
I can't kill him for that.
Yeah.
He figured it out after a half.
Wow. Gotta get him in there.
I didn't really have a problem with the coach as much.
Coach wasn't nearly as bad as the GM. The GM was the worst in NFL history.
Dealing away first-round picks is just awful.
Worst in NFL history. There's no question. 713-780-3776. When we come back, we got to look at this bullpen. Astros start their spring training schedule tomorrow against Washington. So they kick off the spring training. It will be Joe Espada's first game as a manager. I imagine he's going to be pretty pumped to manage baseball. It's not a real baseball game, but it's his first managerial, his first try at managing a team. So that'll be pretty cool for him. But we will look at the bullpen because that's probably the biggest concern. Not the back end, but the rest of the bullpen. That's the question mark as we head into this 2024 season. But first, Lance, you need to talk about your people over at Gulf Coast Chevy.
Gulf Coast Chevy have great people. Rick Drenner, Craig DeSurf, Lindsay and Service. They got a lot of. I mean, the people who have been there for years and years. They don't leave. The people who need a second car. When you go in for your first car, whether it's a Silverado pickup truck, which is awesome. The GMC Sierra 1500. Maybe it's the Buick Envision right now that they have lease opportunities at $299 and even as low as $99 for qualified buyers. You got a chance to really take advantage of purchase or lease that is going to be a vehicle that you're looking for. They got great vehicles in stock, but they're also out there looking for vehicles that you want so they can get those in so you don't settle for something that you don't want. And here's something else. They'll give you more for your trade-in value. They'll go that extra mile. Tell them that you're a friend of mine. I don't care. You can make up whatever lie you want about how close we are. And they'll even go even harder on the deal. Craig DeSurf said he ran into a listener who, was talking me up and said that I was the guy that he listened to and wanted to come in and get the vehicle. It was a Chevy Traverse like I drive. And he said we had a great deal for him. Our internet deal was great. And we even we dropped that a little bit more and gave him even more for the trade-in value just because we wanted to make sure that he was happy. And they want you to come back and get a second car, a third car, your family, your coworkers. That's what they want. You get treated like that. It's Gulf Coast Chevy Buick GMC. It's out in Angleton, but it's well worth the drive. Save you thousands, and you'll have a car buying experience that's no hassle, no hustle. It's Gulf Coast Chevy Buick GMC. Go to landzcars.com.
Back in the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the, let me consult the thesaurus here. What's another word for terrible? Disastrous, hideous, horrifying, dreadful, disturbing, dreadful. Oh, it's the unfortunate team of John and Lance.
Yep. 847 ESPN 97.5. That is, that's terrible. We're just, anyway, Captain Ron. Tip of the cap to Captain Ron over there on the other side. 713-780-3776. I don't even know what you do, Lance. That's what that came in from Tommy Stern. Yeah,
I saw it.
One guy says that, and he might be right about this. Malik Neighbors is in Keel Harry, or he's got bust written all over him.
Yeah, he came after me. Said you live long enough and you see people become Nolan Araki. He was talking about me. Like, what are you talking
Percy
about?
Harvin.
Yeah, he called Compton
Keel
Percy
Harry.
Harvin. Worst comps I've ever seen. That's not what his game is at all.
Yeah. Well, it looks
Nikhil Harry, I
don't know. I might go with this guy. I don't know. We'll see.
Will in Seattle? Yeah.
Yeah, Will in Seattle.
I would go with that.
Yeah. I mean, well, just because he has a differing opinion, Lance, doesn't mean we have to. Oh, you belittled him by saying you don't follow him. Well done, sir. Okay, well done.
I said I was going to unfollow him, but I didn't actually even follow him in the first place.
Right. That was a little passive-aggressive.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
I want to make him feel terrible about himself. If you come at me, I'm going to
come at the king.
clap back. I'll go Kevin Durant. I don't have to go to a burner. I'll just go to your face like he did to those Mavericks fans. He said if you saw the video, he was running on the court, and apparently he said somebody called him a bench, but it didn't.
Oh.
It wasn't bench. It was the other one.
Uh-huh.
And he walked over to him. This is in warm-ups. He walked over to him. Was like, hey, what the? And this woman tries to shake his hand like, hey, they already look drunk. Her and the guy she's with already have kind of drunk look. Like they just got the drunk look to them.
What's the matter with that?
Have you seen the video?
No.
Pull it up. It's on ESPN. Pull it up and see if they both have full beers, and it's before a game, so there's no way I don't think they would have been drunk, but they could have been because you don't want to get drunk on stadium prices.
I did see. I take it back. I didn't hear it. I did see the video.
But apparently he asked the security. Now, I couldn't tell this from watching the video, but it was out there, and I don't know if this is just to make him look good or something, but he asked security not to throw them out, I guess.
Good for him.
Which is good for him because he's known as one of the super sensitive NBA guys. I mean, Russell Westbrook, you would have immediately, or LeBron would have immediately had you.
So he was walking by. He heard something, what he thought was him calling him the bench.
Yeah.
And he came back and he was talking to him. And the guy, I don't know if I didn't think that he looked drunk. He was just explaining whatever.
I'm really talking the woman more than the guy.
Yeah, maybe she's
like, come on. Yeah. She's putting her hand out like, let's dap it up or whatever. And the guy was trying to. Yeah, but there's no reason to drop a B word on any player.
Right.
Honestly. I mean, I'm all for you can heckle players or whatever. There are super sensitive. Westbrook, come on. LeBron, just the crybabiness. You're going after my family. We're grown men. You're going to disrespect us. This is just it. You're going to take some crap. But certain things like dropping the B word on a guy who's running out to layup line.
Right.
Are we really doing that, Mavericks fans?
Yeah. Speaking of the Mavericks, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Since me and JT were watching a game last night, and he was dead on. He goes, man, I saw Daniel Gafford a couple of years ago with the Wizards, and he thought, man, that's exactly what the Mavericks could use. He likes the Mavericks. He likes Luka a lot. So JT was like, Porzingis wasn't really a center. He was a 4 playing center, and they've got a toughness now with P.J. Washington and Gafford that the Mavericks haven't had before. They look like a different team. They beat the Suns last night, and they beat them pretty good. It was a good game. Suns kept coming back, but the Mavericks look better, and Gafford is a force in the middle. We were talking about it. Is this what the Rockets might need?
In the middle?
In the middle.
Yeah.
If Alpi could play more of a 4 role,
he's never going to block
play
shots.
more of a 4 role, have an enforcer inside. It's not Landale. It's not Jock Landale.
This is a mistake sign.
Yes, that was not what – I think maybe that's a little bit of what they were looking for. He's just not that guy. But Gafford inside now looks like he is. He's defending the basket. They've got a physicality about him, grabbing rebounds. He's averaging 12, 13 points a game too. This is something that I think the Rockets could really use.
Totally. That's why Clint Capella on the trade deadline, I was hoping for something like that.
I don't know that Clint Capella's that.
Well, Clint Capella can block shots and rebound still.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't have that physicality.
Well, I don't
Gafford
think
is a force in the middle.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of guys who are like that you need. It's still a pace and space league. I mean,
trust me, they're still doing that.
I mean, Robert.
Look, nobody paces and spaces like the Mavericks.
Yeah,
even with Gafford on the floor.
Exactly. And Robert Williams would have been a guy that I would have liked to see. Robert Williams from the Celtics. He's another one that can rebound and block shots. You want a guy that can rim protect some. I mean, that was a huge difference last night. As a matter of fact, is you don't have to be like, you do need your four. The problem is Şengün is not a classic stretch four. He's a guy that, if he would gain weight, the classic stretch four could be Jabari Smith at some point. He's got 3-point range. He just really needs to put on muscle. Like, he really needs to focus on adding more muscle.
Well, the organization might be saying, I'm not sure if you heard, but we were trying to get Lopez, okay?
Yeah, no, and
then you know what?
No, that's true. And so they recognize that.
But a lot of people were, after when Alpi started the season the way that he did, thank God we didn't get Lopez. Thank God, because Lopez would be taking, I'm not sure that he'd be taking Alpi minutes.
No.
Alpi might be taking Jabari minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how often you're going to play double big lineups anymore. But Alpi can, I mean, theoretically, I guess you'd like to have a 5 maybe who could shoot some threes, but that's not going to happen much. Well, but you watched the game yesterday.
I saw a couple of bigs last night for the Pelicans.
Did you see
just dominating.
Valanciunas was dominating. Like,
and Zion, dude.
Yeah.
That's a couple of bigs on the floor at the same time.
Valanciunas yesterday, 20 points, 14 rebounds. He was a +9.
And
he
what
also,
about, look at
they
Zion.
don't have him for any block shots, but I'm telling you, man, he
changes
he was
them. I don't care if he
lot
blocks
of shots.
Them, he changes them. What were Zion's numbers?
27 points, 9 assists, and 3 boards. 1 block.
Yeah.
3 blocks for
I'm pretty sure you could play double bigs.
Yeah, Trey Murphy had 3 blocks though. Alperen Şengün yesterday had he was 6 of 9. I mean, he ended up with 20 points, 9 rebounds, but he was a -15. That box score is not indicative of how that game went.
No, it's not
at all. And the Rockets absolutely could use a big. If you could get rid of Landale, and I don't even care if it's a big who plays 18 minutes a game, go get somebody that when you need him, because Udoka's proven one thing. Based on the matchups and based on how people are playing, he's willing to play whoever in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, if you get a big, let's say you're not a standard double big lineup, but if you feel like that will work for a team, he'll play Şengün and somebody in a
play
big
Jeff
man.
Green. If Jeff Green is hot, he'll play Jeff Green.
Yeah, and that's a classic. Jay Shante. Remember, Morey always got stuck with 6'7" power forwards and 6'8" power forwards, and none of them famously loved Chuck Hayes. I love Chuck Hayes, but let's be real. Chuck Hayes didn't block a shot in probably 30 years. You need to have a big that can block shots.
Well,
and I think Landale was the backup playing to Brook.
In fairness to the organization, Brook Lopez was the plan.
I'm not being unfair. They still need that.
Yes, they do.
Landale's not the guy. So can you move him for a second-round pick or maybe give up a second-round pick and move him? Probably is what you'll have to do and get one next year. Can we make it a priority? Because there's Landale, whatever. This guy. What a nothing he is this year on the team.
Yeah.
Like, total zero. I like that he's Australian.
Well, why? What? Why? Because he can kick a kangaroo in the face?
No.
What?
I like that he's got an accent.
Oh.
That's it. I like people with accents, but not at their expense of blocking shots and protecting the rim.
Speaking of which.
I just sit here on the bench. I'm not in the bench. See what I say right there? I can't score at all. But if I can sit here and wave a towel, maybe that'll be good. Like, if he could do something. If you got him on the broadcast, with Ryan Hollins and Craig, and I'll tell you right there, this guy Hinton, he can really shoot it. I know you haven't seen him all year, but he's going to come up from the G League and he's got wicked 3-point range. I would listen to that.
Boston a little bit more. I'm not sure
it's
they
not-
say
It's
wicked
not
there.
Boston, mate.
Well,
It's
I'm
not
sure.
Boston, mate.
I'm not sure they say wicked as much in Australia as
They
Boston.
do. Well, you use the C word. We invented it.
Well, you do use that a lot if you're Australian. Speaking of which, Luke Longley, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen are doing a world tour rebuking the Last Dance and telling their side of the story. And Luke Longley with his Australian accent up there, it's actually kind of hilarious. And people, the comments are, Luke Longley, just say thank you to Michael. Why are you up there saying
This is
anything?
you know what? And this is true for the LeBron versus Michael stuff. LeBron's never going to have this issue. You may have some people who have some stuff, but LeBron is so much better a teammate than Michael Jordan. There's stuff I don't like that he tries to not take any responsibility for moves that he orchestrated and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, people are going to like LeBron. People around the league like LeBron. LeBron's going to hang out, former teammates like LeBron. You're not going to have anyone going on a world tour to bash LeBron. Now, will LeBron have his own documentary?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to celebrate him some LeBron. But with that said,
Right.
he's more likable than Michael.
Oh, you know what?
This is sad that the greatest basketball player in our life now has in his fifth. He's close to 60.
No, he's
around
60. He's 60.
He's 60. He's 60 years old, and he's got to have his teammates. And so people like
Yeah.
you and really anybody that celebrated and loved the Bulls championships,
Yeah.
can you imagine people blasting Olajuwon?
No.
Like coming out and saying,
they love him.
oh, man, how bad would that feel for Rockets
They
fans?
love him. They love him. You know what? He's right. What am I thinking about?
Are you sure they're refuting
the
Last
Rockets
Dance?
traded for Steven Adams for next year? That's exactly what they need.
Oh. Thank
Yes.
you. Probably Rocket fans are losing their mind. These two losers
don't know what.
See, this is your job, Mapes.
Yes.
You got to come
Yeah.
in and check us on stuff
It
like
was
this.
when you started doing the Jock Landale accent, I was like, oh, they do have Steven Adams.
You should have
because
come in.
I was thinking you don't even have to really retire the accent.
No.
I know one's Australian, one's
and
New Zealand.
and
that
Steven
probably
Adams
gets me in
can
trouble.
look like what was her name? That the Khaleesi? Who was she with? Khal Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does have a Khal Drago
Oh, he looks
vibe.
just like Kyle Drago.
Yeah, which is great. And so, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
is he
Steven
a
Adams.
shot blocker though? He's physical. He's exactly
That's
what you want.
exactly what you want.
You're so worried about some physical brand of basketball that doesn't exist
Well, no, it's
coming
going to
in
happen
and
now.
dominating.
Oh no, people. Listen, the better teams. Look. Why is Minnesota good all of a sudden? Well, Cat couldn't win
Cat
anything.
shoots-
Now he's got Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but
it's
Cat-
a huge difference.
But the difference is Cat shoots
And-
threes.
and
He's a stretch four.
so does Alpy. So slow down.
I don't want Alpy shooting that much.
Well,
He's got great moves around the
slow
paint.
down. Alpy's got range.
Where's
Okay.
Steven Adams going to stand? Get
And-
out of the way, Steven.
But you got Rudy Gobert, and now all of a sudden you're really good. Guess what? That's a defender inside.
Yeah, no, I love that because you can stretch, though. The difference is you
We got
stretch with
Steven
Cat.
Adams. We're
Cat
winning
is
it all.
a three-point champ. He's
Yeah.
won a three-point shootout.
We're winning it all. Steven Adams is here. I forgot all about that. What am I, stupid? Yeah, everybody, you're right. All the Rockets fans are going, these two are idiots. Right?
Watch a game. I watched yesterday, and I turned it off in the fourth.
No, we turned it off, too. It was awful. It was awful. Time to talk about home base.
And by the way, Sean, time to check you. You just are sitting there running around like, I'm sorry, do you think that somebody who is Mexican is also Puerto Rican?
No.
Do you think somebody who's Australian is also New Zealand?
I immediately backtracked. I
Okay.
said that might
Same
get me in
thing.
trouble.
No, it's not the same thing.
Listen.
New Zealanders don't like being called
Sean, I'm
Australians.
with you on this one. Same thing.
It's
Okay.
not same. you see,
Same
he's
accent.
saying-
Same accent. Can
Yeah.
we
I
get
think
that?
it's
Good eye.
very,
Good eye.
very similar.
It's, yeah.
Crikey.
Very similar.
Sean, you're good.
New
You're good.
Zealanders don't
Thank
say
you.
crikey.
That's all right, but they use the C word there.
Probably.
No, you don't. They do. Time to talk about Home Bank right now. Right now, Home Bank is here for you with 5 locations in the area. 42 banks all over the U.S. 5 right here. River Oaks, Sugarland, Gulf Freeway, Baybrook, Friendswood. River Oaks, Sugarland, Gulf Freeway, Baybrook, and Friendswood. So you're looking for a home bank. This is easy to do. They got a CD rate that you need to take advantage of. An annual percentage yield of 5.15% on a 7-month CD. Or if you want a longer term, you get 4.75% APY on a 14-month CD. The minimum balance is just $2,500. You're going to want to put more into it. I don't know how much money you got laying around. Can you lay around for 7 months or 14 months? If you can afford to have it lay around, why not let your money make money for you? It's what Home Bank is doing. Local bankers help you meet your financial goals, help you meet all of your needs, personal and business banking solutions. Visit home24bank.com for more information. Home Bank, member FDIC.
John plus Lance equals a damn good start to your day and a damn early start to Dell's day. Live in the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's John and Lance.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Joe Espada in the Chronicle this morning. Well, apparently yesterday Joe Espada met media, and he wants to be aggressive on the base paths. Joe Espada says station-to-station baseball ain't no good. We ain't playing station-to-station baseball. We're hitting behind runners. We're going first to third. That's not good baseball. We're not going to wait for get a runner on and hit a 2-run homer. We are. You got it? All right, let's hear from Joe Espada here right now on ESPN 97.5, our manager on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
We have to find ways to improve and find ways to win games. You know, there's opportunities where I thought last year if we could have taken an extra base on someone or have an at bat where we had an opportunity to drag somebody in, which is a ground ball or short. So that's just the small stuff. You know, great teams do that. We've done that in years past. So I just want to let them know that those are things that we need to stay on top of it.
He says a batter would much rather have a runner on third base with one out than a runner on second base with one out. That is true. There's no question about that. It's easier to score the run, obviously.
I told you that
about this, though,
the story about how the minor leagues they wanted to create some turmoil on the base pass, and Dusty was not about it because he thought it was kind of the way they did it was a little Dusty thought was goofy about moving around, and there were certain things that they did, but they're trying to come up with advantages. And Espada supposedly was all on board with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think Espada is going to be on board with everything that like Luneau, like AJ Hinch would have been.
That's what.
So
I was on with Nate this morning on Channel 26, and that's something that I brought up is there's going to be a lot better communication between the front office and the field this year. Dusty had his ways of doing things, and you are not going to. They're going to, you're going to see Yiner, you're going to see Chaz. You're going to see. I think there's going to be a lot more collaboration, and we're going to get back to more. Even Buck Showalter, who was talking about, man, they wanted me to rest Brandon Nimmo after he had a couple of doubles. And I was like, what? I mean, guy's hot, and you want me to sit him because he ran around the bases last night? But even he said, man, I'll take all the information I could possibly get. Give me it all, and then we'll sit down and we'll what is best for the organization, and then make decisions on the fly with all of the knowledge we could possibly have. And I think Joe Espada is going to be like that. I don't think Dusty was like that. I don't think Dusty was like that at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of his logic flew right in the face, contrary to what he was doing. And I think that Joe Espada is going to be a hell of a lot more open to suggestions from Dana and from the organization, and use analytics a lot more or better than Dusty did.
You know what you get from a 70-year-old person? They're set in their ways. A lot of people who aren't 70, who are 60, 50, 40 are set in their ways. But Dusty has a way of doing it. When Dusty had Dusty's had success. He's one of the great managers of all time. He was great for the Astros for what they needed. At some point, though, now that you're going to continue to build forward and you want to feature young players, there are certain coaches and managers who are just always going to lean to the veterans. Some of it has to do with age. I think there's a kinship with them. Some of it has to do with that experience. Sometimes you may like one guy better, but you still have to play the other guy to get him ready to be that next guy. And Dusty is probably looking at everything as, I don't care about what Yainer Diaz becomes 3 years. And Dusty, I think he probably believed what he was saying about, you guys are going to thank me that I'm holding Yainer back and letting him come along slowly. But
you never play a rookie quarterback.
But see, a lot of those old things like, what about Aaron Rodgers? Or what about Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, you can always go to that, but what about C.J. Stroud? Yeah. Like, what about, there's also something to be said for some guys need a longer runway, and some guys are ready. And you got to see, Yainer Diaz was already playing like a guy ready. He wasn't overwhelmed by pitching. What are you trying to save him for? Like, what are you protecting him from? This guy can play. Mentally, he looks like he's pretty good to play.
He had a he loved Maldonado, so
Maldonado, everybody does.
Yeah,
everybody loves Maldonado.
Yeah.
Baggy loves him. Reggie Jackson loved him. Justin Verlander loves him. Fromber. There's a reason that guy's a dude.
Yeah,
he's a dude. He's a player's player. He's a dude. But guess what? Dusty ain't thinking about Yainer in 3 years. He's thinking about, I'm a 1 or 2 year guy. I'm going with my guy. I trust him. Yeah. He knows how to handle pitchers. He's a veteran. You got to have a guy like that. And I agree. It'd be great to have a guy like that playing about 60 games a year.
Yeah. Did you see Christian Javier?
As a defensive replacement.
See Christian Javier?
Does he have braids?
Shed 15 pounds.
Good.
Here's his quote. I think mechanics was the big part of it, his struggles last season. But because I was carrying a little bit more weight, I think that led to some of those mechanical issues. I was not as fluid as I used to be. Maybe that $64 million contract got him a little heavier than he would have been. Maybe, now hopefully we're seeing a guy who is recommitted. Sometimes guys think I've got to be stronger or bigger and with the grind of a major league season. And then again, maybe being lighter and more fluid, like he says, is going to help him. Hopefully, and it's rebuilding El Reptil. That's what has to happen this year. If Christian Javier comes back and has the kind of season that we thought he could, he, to me, is the biggest domino this season.
He's huge because that's a guy who has...
He's got one stuff.
Yeah, he's got one stuff. But obviously his mechanics were screwed up. And this is what bothered me about the pitching coaches, is that if it's mechanical, because his fastball was lower, okay, that could have been World Baseball Classic stuff. Could have been pitching in the postseason. That's a lot of extra baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of extra baseball. It could have been that. But his breaking pitches didn't have the same stuff on it. It was flatter. He wasn't getting the same strikeout total, which is a big, big concern. He's going to give up more home runs, but his swing and miss numbers were way down last year. His strikeout per 9 was way down last year. That doesn't make any sense. So something was going on. But, think about this. Fame, he got money. He was famous. He's running around with a wheelbarrow of cash with Mattress Mac. He probably lived it up in the offseason. Would it surprise you if he came in a little heavier and he came in? Yeah, and I love to hear that he is looking at this like, and I think the pitching coaches probably will have a better chance if he's lighter. That's great news. Should he put some braids on like Fromber? Just get some
Fromber
extensions?
cut his braids because he didn't have the season he wanted, and now you want Javier to have them?
Do you think that's a superstition thing for Fromber? I do.
Do you think that?
Why would Fromber get rid of? If Fromber thinks he looks dope in those braids, why is he going to get rid of it? I think it's baseball superstition.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. He wore them at the All-Star game, won the All-Star game,
and then he kept wearing them, and he won By the way, he also won a World Series.
Yeah.
With braids.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? What's the superstition?
That's what I'm asking. Why is he getting rid of braids?
Because he says, frankly, I've got to worry less about my hair and more about my pitching right now.
I like the focus.
I don't
the
like
Astros
hair
are
guys.
Showing.
If you're more worried about your hair than you are, okay. No, Mapes is okay. He's got a headband on.
Why don't you at Sean instead of subtweeting him?
What do you mean?
Instead of sub-talking him,
I'm
you don't
talking
like
to him
hair
right now.
guys, people who are more worried about their hair.
No.
Do you remember when he first started
Sean
here?
is worried about pushing
Do you
buttons
remember
right
when he
now.
first started
He got
here?
his hair out of his face.
Do you
with
remember
his
when he
headband.
first started here?
What?
Sean, have you cut your hair since you started here? Have you cut any off the length?
Yeah, from time to time, just like a trim, though. But
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a hair guy? We do.
Yeah.
He's like-
And John said he
it's
doesn't
one of
like
those
hair
things.
guys.
He's the Utah quarterback.
Dale's not a hair guy. I'm not a hair guy. You're a hair guy.
Yeah.
You're a hair guy now because of Linville.
Doc Linville made me a hair guy. Okay. So, but I don't have to worry. It's not like I have to.
swear on everything.
do-
If Linville gives you extensions and puts you in some Fromber beads, I will. Not only will I not quit radio, I will sign a 20-year extension. I will have a contract that says I will do radio with John until he's dead. If you wear braids, if you get extensions that are braids,
I could get them. Okay. You're going.
if you
to
come in here with braids, I'm just telling you, I'm in forever. Extensions.
I
You
got to
can't get them taken out like Fromber did.
And I got to. Do I got to put the little jewelry on the bottom of them and
Beads.
everything? Beads.
Yeah, you got to put the. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to, but I want you to bunch it up like maybe Larry Fitzgerald had.
Yeah. I want Mapes' hair. Okay.
Of course you do.
Of course I got.
But I do like it that Fromber's getting serious. Like, all right, enough of these extensions. I got to focus on my pitching.
That's right.
And then you have Christian Javier's like, I got to lay off the birria or whatever I'm having.
Yeah.
I've got pastele. I got to get off of that. And I got that's Puerto Rican. He's Dominican. Well, whatever. I don't know what Dominican food is. I don't know a dish.
Oh,
But he's got to get off
racist.
of that. I don't know. I'd like to have Dominican food.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but I like the fact that he came in lighter.
You
What
know-
else should we do? Oh, Alex Bregman, you come in 15 pounds lighter. Bregman's like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Let me go hit the bench press in the squat rack. How committed are the Astros
Yeah.
this year?
No, there's going to be.
Breggy's like squat rack, and then you got Kyle Tucker, who's probably like, everything's fine. I don't know.
Ooh, this is a good
I'll
title.
take some swings. Do you think he's ever going to get excited about anything, Kyle
Who?
Tucker? Kyle Tucker can make
No,
the greatest catch in the history of baseball and just be like, yeah,
he's
that's
very
fine.
Biggio-ish.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
I did that. That's okay.
No, he's only sleepier than Bish.
Oh, Bish was a red ass. I don't even get a red ass
Yeah,
vibe
no,
off
nothing.
of.
I mean, yeah. Oh, in the postseason, walking up to the plate, you knew he wasn't going to hit anything. Oh my God, Kyle Tucker was awful. Dell's new show name, Mapes and Hate. That's good. Wave Buster,
It's
pretty
not
good.
bad. That's not bad. I like it better than Mapes and Mopey. Mapes
I like
and Hate.
Mopey and Mapes.
Yeah, I like Mapes and Hate.
Yeah. When we come back, how about ranking the play callers? Where does Bobby Slowick land? Where does Bobby Slowick land in NFL lore? Well, in current NFL coaches. Where does John Clay Wolf land as far as car buyers? Number one, the best. He's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous how good he is. Honestly, John Clay Wolf buys $1 billion worth of cars and sells $1 billion worth of cars. I mean, that's how it's crazy. And he does. Why do you sell your car to somebody? Let's look at it. Why would you do that? Okay, so if it's a nephew or a kid and you're going to sell them your car, not give your kid your car, okay, whatever. if you're going to sell the car, you want to give them a discount. You want them to, a neighbor, a good friend. Yeah, I'll give it to you for this. That's fine. But if you're selling it to a stranger, get as much as you can, brother. It's a piece of metal. What do you give me as much cash as possible, and that's what John Clay Wolf does. He gives you more for your car. So you sell it to him. You know why he buys more is because he pays more. He does it every single time. And if he can't meet CarMax's offer, he's going to send you $100, and he don't send $100 because he can meet and beat CarMax every time. So all you got to do, if you're selling your car, givemethevin.com. That's givemethevin.com. All right, time for me to talk about Republic Boot Company. We are going to be there on Monday, and I can't wait. Republic Boot Company is listen, the first thing that you're going to notice is the smell. The next thing that you're going to notice is the quality. And rows of boots, the 1836 boots that are already there, that are rodeo ready to wear. And you say, well, I want a customized boot. Well, they customize it right there to fit your foot. All right, boots that are already made are actually being customized because they can expand or tighten. They can do it all because it's leather. It's real leather. They don't put any garbage in there like these other boot companies do. There's no synthetic stuff in there. It's all leather. And so it stretches and breathes with your foot. Your foot will not stink after wearing these boots all day long because it's all leather, okay? They start at $395, and these are sitting on the rack waiting for you. You're going to go to the rodeo. You need your boots. You need your hat. You need your jacket. You need they got it all. They've got it all at Republic Boot. But it's the atmosphere that's so cool. And they'll take you back there and they'll show you how they make them. If you want to customize a boot, this is the only place to go. It's ridiculous how good they are. When you see what they do and what they can do, they're awesome. We're going to be there Monday. We want you to come on by and hang out with us. Well, breakfast tacos on Monday morning all day long. They've got an open bar. If you're there in the afternoon or even in the morning and you want a drink, you can do that as well. 1133 East 11th Street in the Heights. Easy to get to. RepublicBootCompany.com. We love it. You'll love it. RepublicBootCompany.com.
One is currently studying the daily dew point for the next 4 weeks. The other is mulling over new acceptable ways to say the E word. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's John and Lance.
Caitlin Clark lost last night. You saw that, right?
They locked her down.
Huh?
They locked her down.
Yeah. Well, she still had numbers, but she was none too pleased. Their number 14 Indiana took care of business. You know, that's a rivalry game. That's a bit of a rivalry game. Big Ten, they see each other, they know each other, and they were not going to let Caitlin Clark take care of that business. Caitlin Clark actually got feisty. She got feisty with one of the Indiana players. But she's a story, man.
Caitlin Clark's got some edge.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing became the Angel Reese and classless and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, I think Angel took it a little, you know, after the game or whatever.
Yeah.
She probably took it too long and then on podcasts and all that stuff. But Caitlin Clark, the reason all that stuff happens is she does some stuff like she's kind of a trash talker.
Yeah.
She did they were spurred on, really not by what she did with them, but in the game before LSU Caitlin's got a little edge to her.
Yep.
Like, she's not afraid to
I love that.
get after
right.
That's why she flopped when that big girl ran into her when she was running on the court, and then Caitlin made sure to flop, but also gave her a little boom, and then flopped to the ground. And at first I thought, that's terrible. She ran on the court, and then I saw a different angle. I'm like, oh, that's a flop. 713-780-3776. TJ is here. Is it Father TJ or the other TJ?
No, I am a father, but it's not that kind of father.
Oh, okay, not that kind of father.
Father TJ only calls in the
Father
first
TJ
hour. Yeah, this is TJ
Jesus.
the father.
Yeah.
Different.
Right.
There you go. Hey, did you guys see that Bleacher Report where they said it's going to be a little bit tougher to get Bransman's contract done? I just want to get you guys' take on that, because if you're not going to sign him, then trade him and get what you can get for him. Don't just let him go free. We've done that too many times. So I just want to get you guys' idea on what you think about that.
No, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to trade him unless they get somebody.
What would John Granado do?
I would let him play it out and let's go, because I'm going for it again.
Is there a
We've got too good a team. We are not.
I get that. Is there a breaking
I'm
point?
not playing for next year or the year after.
Do you change your philosophy if the season doesn't go like you thought?
Yes, obviously.
But here's the problem. By the time you get to trade deadline, but this is what's so hard. You would have to be atrocious not to think you have a chance.
Yeah.
If you're within 8 games, are you pulling the trigger at trade deadline?
I still think they can win it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So realistically, there's almost nothing that
he's not going anywhere.
And my belief is sometimes you have to make hard decisions. I'm kind of with you, TJ. I think hard decisions can benefit the long term as opposed to being potentially delusional in the short term. But I'm also the same guy who had some questions about maybe I threw it out there. I wasn't advocating trading last year. Some people went over the top with that video that we put out because that's not what I was advocating. But I am advocating being open to trading a player to restock minor leagues so you make the next sustained big run and you keep the flow going. I'm not a big fan of just letting guys walk. But, you know, the Astros also can look like they don't have they almost didn't make the playoffs. Almost didn't make the playoffs. They needed the last day. And guess what happened? They got to Game 7 of the ALCS with a guy who had been a hot pitcher and Christian Javier on the mound. Like, they just couldn't win at home. That's all. They just couldn't win any baseball at home, or they would have been in a World Series again if they could play at home at all. Didn't win a single freaking game against the Rangers at home. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And won all 3 on the road. So, I mean, yeah. But, yes, I agree. Listen, we are not going to trade. We're not trading Alex Bregman. We're going to let him walk just like we let everybody walk. We're going to let Kyle Tucker walk probably too, because we're going to be in it again next year when he replaces third base with I don't know. Did Matt Chapman sign yet? I don't know if Matt Chapman signed yet.
No, I don't think I haven't seen him sign
I haven't seen it either. I mean, you know what?
Why
Maybe he'll sign a 1-year
him?
deal with somebody and then he'll be available next year.
Why are you asking about him, though?
Because he could be a possible replacement.
Here's the question. They actually have – it's
year.
crazy. He's only 30. But the question is, why hasn't anyone as opening day nears, why hasn't anyone signed Matt Chapman? And here are the reasons why. Strikeout concerns. We feel the need to preface this in the following subhead by noting that Chapman has been productive hitter throughout his big league career. He's never finished with an OPS plus below 100, but then they go into all of his strikeout issues. 29.4% strikeout rate was the fifth highest of 54 primary third basemen. That's one. Exploitability, and that one is going to tell you that they took a look at True Media, looked at his contact rate map. So basically his exploitability on a heat map. And then good teams aren't biting. According to Baseball Prospectus, 16 teams are slated to win 81 or more, and yada, yada, yada. So what I'm reading here is there's a big issue with things that the Astros would consider no-goes. If you're exploitable at the line if you're exploitable in the batter's box and you're going to have a high strikeout rate, they're not really. This isn't Crush City anymore where you try to hit a bunch of home runs and you don't care how many strikeouts.
You can have a guy like that or two. You can have a guy or two.
But I don't think they want to do that
Plus,
anymore.
he's a really good third baseman.
I
wouldn't
want
mind
that.
Matt Chapman. I wouldn't mind Matt Chapman.
You got Alex Bregman.
But you're not going to have Alex Bregman after this year. Okay?
So
that's the
develop.
answer. There's the answer.
No one's even picking him up.
I know. Well, his demands are probably too high.
Well,
you know what? He's going to have to come down next year.
No, he'll sign somewhere this year.
For 1 year maybe.
Yeah.
And then he'll be available next year. I'll take a Matt Chapman.
I want better than
I'll take a guy that strikes out some. Hey, again, his OPS plus. Look at. And we're gonna.
I prefer guys who don't strike out.
I do too. But you know what? Sometimes you got to have a strikeout in there. Okay, throw a strikeout or two in there. It's actually against what the Astros believe in. They like swing and hit guys. They don't like swing and miss guys. That's this newfangled Bagwell-lytics, like you like to call it. Okay, so stop already.
That only works with mostly relievers.
Okay, so we're gonna stop doing that. 713-780-3776 is the number if you would like to hang out with us here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Right now, though, we'll talk a little tequila.
We're talking about Maestro Dobel's brilliance when it comes to the Añejo, the Reposado, the Cristalino. I'm going to focus on that big three because those are three very different types of tequilas. But, and once you experience it for yourself, I was able to have a tasting and tasted them back to back to back, and it's amazing how they differ in terms of the flavor profile and the level of smoothness. They're all smooth. They all go down smooth, and it's funny because big time tequila people, they don't like the word smooth, but I'm just telling you as a listener and somebody who may really appreciate tequila, or you may want to start trying it more as opposed to the way you've had it in the past, I think it makes sense because a lot of people are used to the burn of a bad tequila, of something that has the impurities and they're not distilled. The properly distilled tequila is going to be a more smooth tequila, and you're not going to find anything smoother than the amount of tequilas and the different types of bottles than our friends over at Maestro Dobel. Give Maestro Dobel a shot. Wherever fine liquors are sold, make sure that you get a bottle of Maestro Dobel, and wherever fine liquors are sold. If they don't have it, ask for it by name. It's Maestro Dobel.
Time to talk about my bookie. You're looking for the best way to play, win, and get paid. You're looking for anything, anytime, anywhere. You can bet it on my bookie. It's ridiculous, all the stuff that they got. We still got all kinds of. I know the football season is over. I know you love to bet on football. That's what the majority of people do. But there's still baseball. There's basketball. There's all stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. Plus casino gaming and live dealers. That is the best. The best thing about my bookie is that you've got live dealers where you actually see the cards flying. You actually see the roulette wheel and the person throwing the ball. Everything about it. This is the way to go. I like it better. I don't want just a computer handing out the cards like that. No, I like a dealer. I want to see my blackjack hand. I want to see my poker hand. I want the dealer to deal it to me. I feel a lot better about it. You'll feel a lot better about it. You want a casino on your computer? You don't even have to go to Lake Charles. You don't have to go to Las Vegas. MyBookie.com. Promo code BET975. MyBookie.ag. Promo code BET975.
If you really want to keep listening to John and Lance this morning, I guess I'll allow it. Oh, wait. The true gatekeeper of the Veritex Community Bank Studios is here. That's Dell. Dell, what say you?
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-3776 is the number. All right, the Astros bullpen. We haven't touched on that. So they are looking at here's we didn't do this. We got to do this. And I promoted it. I teased it, and we never did it, which is it's something that happens all the time. Ranking the NFL play callers. Who's number one in the league?
Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
Ben Johnson, 2.
No. Ben
Really?
Johnson is down the list. Sean McVay, they have 2.
You know, it's funny. People in football really respect Sean McVay a lot. Okay, Sean McVay, 2. Is it Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson's down the list, you said?
Down the list, yep.
Oh, then he's probably going to go with either Stefanski or what's his name in Green Bay?
Well, or Andy Reid.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. How's Andy not 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. Yep.
Mike McDaniel is 4.
Bieniemy, 5.
Nope. Matt LaFleur is 5. Okay. Sean Payton, Kevin O'Connell.
Sean Payton's still
Shane
in there,
Steichen, Kevin Stefanski,
so
Ben
they're
Johnson.
going all head coaches.
Ben Johnson is 10.
How many of these guys are head coaches?
Well.
All of them.
Yeah.
So the first coordinator?
The first coordinator
is Ben Johnson?
Is Ben Johnson at 10.
Wow.
Then Todd Monken. Then Drew Petzing. Then it's all Dave Canales, Arthur Smith.
These are offense coordinators.
Yes.
You know what? Bobby Slowick's trash.
15.
This is why he couldn't get a.
Here's what they say about Bobby Slowick.
This is why he couldn't get a head coaching job.
In his first year, he was largely impressive. He enabled C.J. Stroud to be aggressive, downfield passer, regularly abusing play action, open windows over the middle of the field for the Texans. Slowick looked like someone well-versed in the Shanahan system. However, Slowick's youth and inexperience showed at times. Too often he was insistent on hammering away on the ground with nothing to show for it. Moreover, Slowick sometimes struggled to come up with answers when thrown out of his rhythm. The playoff game against the Ravens was a fantastic example of that. Slowick continued to spam futile inside runs and attempt trick plays to get things going. He had no real substance to turn to in a moment of need. He will learn. He's a sharp play caller. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, mostly agree with that.
You have to, even though they were unsuccessful, and I'm not talking about the Ravens.
We're one season.
They were unsuccessful at running the football. You got to run the football.
But he tried.
And
people got mad that
I know, but he's got to keep trying.
Yes, he does. But you also don't bang your. You also are trying to win games too. So I appreciated. Hey, I didn't have a problem when he was trying to run the football. The offense is predicated on running the ball. Running the ball, trying to bring safeties and linebackers forward, and then hitting them with play action. It's what it's based on. If you don't know what the offense is based on, you get caught up. This is why I'm not this is why you have to make running the football a priority. You must. DeMeco Ryans wants to do it because you know what he is? He's a defensive guy who knows that running the football is the most demoralizing thing a defense can face. Is when you can't. Bobby Slowick's like, it unlocks the offense if we run. DeMeco's like, it demoralizes a defense when you can run and they can't stop you. And for all that reason, I don't want to see CJ throwing it 40 times a game. It'd be fun, but it's not the best way to win football games. Isaiah Pacheco unlocked something for the Chiefs. His ability to run, unlike, of course, Pat Mahomes, when it comes down to make winning plays, is Pat Mahomes. But Pacheco was huge for them, was absolutely huge. I think Buffalo Bills really miss having a plus running back. I think it's a big deal that Buffalo's never had a running back that has been a plus running back. I think Baltimore Ravens had one with Dobbins, but he gets hurt every other day. Keaton Mitchell was a great steal for them, but he got hurt. You have Gus Edwards, who's okay, but too much of it falls on Lamar Jackson. Has he made a Super Bowl? No. Have Buffalo made a Super Bowl? No. San Francisco gets Christian McCaffrey, and they've also got they've got just kind of guys on the interior. They got Trent Williams. And guess what? I mean, they're in Super Bowls. Like, the running game, when Dallas had chances, but I'm trying to think. Tampa, not as much. And Tom Brady, well, now, if you look at New England, if you studied them, they actually had like top 5 and 6 rated running games. When they were in the middle of the Bill Belichick run, they actually ran the ball well. Because when they wanted to, and if they thought they could demoralize you, they would just pound the rock. And that's what was always crazy for fantasy fans, is you never knew who was going to get their – like, people don't think about their running game because fantasy football fans always knew it was a nightmare trying to have a running back from New England, because a guy could have 20 carries for 130. Ramondre Stevenson could go for 2 touchdowns and 125 and get 6 carries the next game, and somebody could have 14. Like, what the hell are you doing, Belichick? Seriously, Bill Belichick, for as great as he is, why do you not just have a standard running back? Why are you always trying to play games like this, trying to game the system? Why did you not care at all about what any other teams are going to be doing a draft? We just do what we do, and we don't care about, okay, in theory, that's great. But if you know where guys, wouldn't you like to get a guy you had in a second, even though you evaluated him poorly? Wouldn't you rather get him in the third if you know the rest of the league sees this guy as a fourth? Like, Belichick's way is, he was so, his circle and his bubble got so small, and then he's such an amazing coach, but then did things like put a defensive coordinator at play caller for a young quarterback.
Well, that was
that's criminal. That's fireable.
Yes. No, that was ego. Well, we can do it with, no problem.
I mean, his ego did get out of control.
Yeah, it did. It absolutely did. No, we'll be fine. We don't need that offensive court. What? Are you kidding me?
You literally have Matt Patricia calling plays?
Yeah. I mean, that's just awful.
For a young quarterback who's lost his confidence, like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay, before we go in the end of the week, because the Astros play tomorrow against Washington in their first preseason game, the bullpen is interesting to find out what they're going to do with this bullpen. So Dylan Coleman is a guy that he's a 6'5" guy. He was really, really bad last year. He is a guy who the year before was really, really good. He had a 2.78 and held opponents to a 194 average in 68 innings in 2022. In 23, his velocity was 2 miles lower across 23 outings, 19 walks in 18 1/3 innings, and 8.84 ERA. This is a project kind of guy, we know he can do it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dylan Coleman is not going to be in that bullpen this year.
Really?
They'll give him a shot. Well, it depends on how he's throwing.
Well, you lost bullpen guys, so somebody's getting a shot.
For sure, you know this. Hader, Presley, Abreu, Montero, right? You know that for sure. It's Coleman. It's Sousa. It's Blanco. Belak.
Nope.
Yeah, he still started it.
No, he's not going to be in the bullpen. Blanco, maybe. But Blanco still has been more of a starter. We're not doing this Belak thing. Stop saying that.
They're talking about a 6-man rotation. They don't need it. They have a stretch with 1 day off over like 31 days into May and into June or late May. There's a chance they go to the 6-man rotation then. They don't need it early. They don't need a 6-man rotation early. And as a matter of fact, Justin Verlander is going to screw that all up anyway because he's going to want to pitch every 5th day. So, do you put France in the bullpen? Do you put Hunter Brown in the bullpen? Do you put Urquidy in the bullpen?
See, I don't. So the 6-man rotation is going to be fleeting. It's not full time. We're trying to get Verlander 300 wins.
Does Seth Martinez show you anything? Is Forrest Whitley a possibility?
I'd love it if he was. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. You'd like to have some strikeout. You've got some strikeout guys in there already, but you like the big arm guys. Typically, now the Astros have gone in that direction. Stanek is a guy who could throw 90, 98, and he didn't always get a play, but in the course of the year, you use a Stanek. Who's going to be your guy that's got the 97, 98? Is that Blanco? Blanco can puff it up some.
He can, yeah.
Maybe he'll be that big arm. Because they don't typically want to pitch to contact.
Well, it's actually, I mean, with the way the back end of the bullpen is, I mean, we're talking about, hopefully very little use. Hopefully your starters are going to go 5, 6 innings, 5 and whatever, over 5 innings. You
use all 3 of those guys all the time, and you only sparingly can do that because it sounds good in theory, but then you get to the next game and are all 3 of them gone? Like, who's available?
Well, to me, that's a key in that if you use Hader one day or 2 days in a row,
probably don't want to back it up with
Presley.
So I like that idea too of being careful about having Abreu as more of a setup man than Presley sometimes. Presley, sometimes you want Presley. It depends on the game.
If Montero is good, if Montero's back to being pretty decent, you can use him in the 7th, Abreu 8th.
Cool story, John.
And Hader in the 9th, and then have Presley ready for the next game to close.
You just have to read the game situation. If it's tight, they're going to go at the 3 best.
Yes.
They'll go Abreu to Presley. It'll be Abreu to Presley to Hader. If it's, it's from game to game, that's what it's going to be. But yeah, you do need to have Montero's there.
But I think it's waste. It's going to be interesting to see if you use Abreu, Presley, and Hader, and then Abreu, Presley, and Hader the next day. What do you do after that?
That's what I'm saying. You can't use it in a 3-game series.
So
you're going to have more than just Montero, and there's no guarantee Montero's good. So you're going to have the 2-inning reliever, which is easy. You got Blanco could do it, whatever. I mean, you got starters.
Seth Martinez can do it.
Seth Martinez, Blanco, JP France, any of those guys can do it. You just have to figure out who's going to be the guy that can warm up quickest out of the starters and can become that guy. And you'd like to have somebody who can, get you strikeouts. Maybe you want a sinker ball guy that can try to induce double plays. But yeah, it's going to be. It's kind of fun to see who's going to end up in that bullpen. It seems like you guys are talking about the 5th and 6th pitchers in the bullpen. But, dude, we just win I'm sorry. All we do is go to ALCSs and win championships.
That's all.
And fight for championships. So good teams, poverty teams can worry about your setup, man. Elite teams like the Astros, we worry about 5th outfielders and 6th relievers.
Well, and this has got a chance to be the best of them all. Even better than 22 when they were one of the best bullpens in postseason history. This is a chance to be even better. This team is going to be good. This is going to be fun, even though Mapes doesn't think so. Your headband says I don't believe in this. Your headband says I don't believe in this team.
No, I believe in this team.
Okay,
I was nodding my head when Lance was like, other teams worry about their setup guys. We're just built different. City of champions. I was like,
all that
Lance.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. And you've already heard Twitter. Astros.
I don't know.
Twitter
I just miss Dell. I always throw shots at him.
Yeah.
And he's not here.
It's nothing.
So you had to
personal.
catch something.
Yeah, it's
a little shrapnel won't hurt
personal.
you.
Are Astros Twitter considered the most obnoxious Twitter and
they're right there
on X? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're up there. You know why? Because
they deserve
we're
the best.
Because they and by proxy us, we're elitists.
Yes.
And you know why? Because we're in a different tax bracket than the rest of you guys. When
we
it
don't
comes
have
to
a
baseball.
poverty quarterback. We don't
have poverty quarterbacks. We've got Jalen Green.
Yeah.
We've got
Alpy.
We've got the Astros.
Yeah.
We've got the best in the world. Think about this. Justin Verlander. Jose Altuve. Is Altuve any good?
Jordan, any good?
Are you okay with Jordan? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you like C.J. Stroud? Do you like Will Anderson, the defensive player of the year?
Yeah.
You've got Jalen Green,
Oh, you like that?
who's also,
You like that?
You like that? Jalen can do. He was in a dunk contest once.
Yep, I remember.
Do you remember how good that was?
That one.
Well, he dunked one of them.
A guy who's not even in the league is the best dunker in the league.
Mac McClung.
Time to talk about Robin. She's the best. She's the best powder coater there is. Okay, I said it. Robin is the best powder coater there is. She's awesome. You're going to love doing business with Robin. Your patio furniture is old and faded. Your patio furniture is over 10 years old. Wait now. Wait. Hold. Because that steel that's in your patio furniture is better than the steel that they're making today. It may be more valuable than steel that's being produced today, even though that stuff is new. The steel is not as good because it's lessened, it's weakened, it's not the same. So you want to save that patio furniture from 10 years ago. But, man, it's shoddy. It's broken. Hardware, straps, slings need to be repaired. No problem. Not for Houston Powder Coaters. Free pickup and free delivery. Send in your picks to get an estimate, and Robin will do that right over the phone. You send her your picks, and she'll either tell you, oh, yeah, we can fix it, it's going to be this much, or go buy new stuff because that's just lost. Listen, you're going to get a square deal. You're going to get the best deal, free pickup and delivery as well. All at HoustonPowderCoaters.com, 281-676-3888, or HoustonPowderCoaters.com. All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. So, Lance, apparently in which country is this? Chief Mr. Jagan Mohan. And, I mean, this is some kind of I don't know which country this is. Oh, Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh. Apparently, the political party is putting their names on condoms. Do you want to use a condom with, let's say, AOL or Joe Biden? Do you want to use the Joe Biden condom? Which one would you want? The Joe Biden condom or the Donald Trump condom?
Married, not having more kids.
You never used a condom. That's right. You have a kid every other week.
Well, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I had a grand total of 5. I'm way down the list. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Well, which one? Okay, if you used a condom, let's just say hypothetically, which one would you use, the Joe Biden or the Donald Trump?
I'm going to go different. Akeem Olajuwon.
Use the Akeem. That's a long.
The dream.
That's a lot. Akeem Olajuwon written across that condom?
Well, I think it's just the face.
No, it's the letters. It's the letters.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I guess I'll use the one that says Dominique Rogers Cromartie.
I think you used the AO. What's her name? AOL, not AOL. What's her name?
AOC.
AOC.
AOL.
The Aiden O'Connell condom is the one that.
Aiden O'Connell. No, the AOL is a AOC.
I know.
Aiden O'Connell.
AOC.
That's how people know it as the Purdue quarterback.
Aiden O'Connell,
the 4th round pick with the Raiders.
Not him. Not him. That's AOC. You know her. Hunter Biden's lawyers say prosecutors confused a picture of sawdust with cocaine. Do you believe
what?
that Hunter Biden was snorting sawdust?
No.
Or
I do not believe he was snorting
cocaine.
I do not believe that he snorted sawdust. No.
You don't believe that?
No.
I don't. General Mills is being urged to take plastics out of Cheerios, soup, pasta, and canned corn. Do you feel like you should be strong-arming a company to take plastic out of their food?
I like the fact that we're getting it out of the canned corn game. You can't just have plastic in there.
No, you gotta.
Are they talking about the packaging, I'm assuming? Which I've never heard of.
Out of
canned
the
corn
food.
and out of the actual comida?
In prepackaged foods, yes.
Yeah, I'm not
The
interested
parent in a
in
letter, Consumer Reports claiming it found concerning levels of forever chemical phthalates in several General Mills products.
Like, I don't mean to be an a-hole, but I just don't want, and I'm not trying to be fussy or a diva, but I just don't want plastic in my food.
Apparently, a woman was mortified after her Bumble match. The man sniffed her hair on the first date.
That's going to happen.
Do you feel like sniffing hair? It's like, Sean, you're on Bumble, right? Or something? Tinder?
No, I'm not. But
Do girls like to sniff your hair on the first date?
Fair question.
Not on the first date.
Not on the first date? You think it's inappropriate?
It's aggressive on the first date. It has to be going super well.
But you don't. What if they grabbed your hair and they wanted to smell it? I don't think that's too aggressive.
Yeah, I think what we're willing to put up with and what women are willing to put up with is a lot different.
That's the thing.
If we do it, it's literally considered serial killer-like, when really we just think your hair smells good.
Yeah.
We don't mean anything by it. You should let us do it. Because I would let you do it. If you thought, oh, your hair smells great, can I smell it?
You'd let
Absolutely.
Sean sniff your hair?
Not Sean, but
I
would let, like, if I were dating, if I were Sean and a woman said, oh, my God, your hair looks great, and she just went in for the sniff, I wouldn't even you need to ask for permission. But that's just guys, though.
Yeah.
We would be super, wow, I think she likes me.
I think we, in
and this is what the girl would say, oh, gross, he likes me.
Gross.
Yeah. Ugh.
In general, I think the men would have a higher tolerance than women.
Yeah,
for the hair
I
smell.
wouldn't mind if you smell my hair, especially now, Doc Linville.
Is News of the Weird going to include, now that we've seen the new baseball jerseys are a problem, now we've seen the pants that players are wearing.
Apparently they're see-through.
And you can see through the entire, like where their shirts are tucked in. At some point, somebody is going to say, okay, you want to play this game, crappy uniform makers? Your boy's not going with the cup today.
No, you have to wear a cup in baseball. Oh, wait, you don't wear a cup in football. You don't wear a cup in basketball. You have to wear a cup in baseball.
You do, unless you're not playing that day.
Well,
and you're a pitcher.
Okay.
If I'm a pitcher and I'm not pitching, if you wear a cup as a starting pitcher, and this is and you pitched 2 days ago, then you're really into baseball.
Yeah.
Or I don't know why you would. Why would you?
Unless you want to show your stuff off.
You ever worn a cup before? You ever played baseball?
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's not great.
The worst. Well, if you want to show your stuff off, go get it. You know what?
Somebody's going to do that.
Will you be arrested if you don't wear a cup in Major League Baseball now?
No.
Well,
Fix the pants.
It's
Stop being
indecent
so cheap.
exposure.
Honestly.
Well, and that last one today, a Florida man exposes himself while shoplifting. I think it's I just feel like you're making a mistake. If you're shoplifting, you shouldn't be showing your stuff to everybody. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not you.
I think
you try to what you want to. You don't want to bring attention to yourself.
Yeah. When you're shoplift, I think he had. If you're gonna shoplift, shoplift. If you're gonna expose yourself. Right.
Right.
But don't do both.
Don't do both.
No,
it's counterintuitive.
It absolutely is. I'm sorry, but that's self-snitching right there.
Yeah.
Look what I got. Look what I got in my pants. Oh, and this too.
Look, I got. Look what I got in my pants. Oh, I don't have pants. Oh, tricked you.
You know who's been.
If you're gonna do that, you at least dab at the end.
You know who's been tricking you for years. What's up next? Mopey and Mapes, or what's up next? Greenie's up next. Oh, we got Greenie up next right here on ESPN 97.5, and probably brought to you in progress because we're late. Here's the deal, though. Artisan Grange. How about the Dublin and the Canstead? How about the Kill Cliff? I'm telling you, how about this? I got this yesterday from the guys. The Kill Cliff Fight Club. They're doing Bellator, they're doing Fury, they're doing UFC. They're awesome. What they're doing, and one of the fighters put out there, at Hemp Dip game, at Hemp Dip is a game changer for weight cutting for my championship fight. That is one of the fighters from Kill Cliff. He's telling you, the hemp is helping you. The hemp and the CBD is better for you than the tobacco, the nicotine. Stop already with that. You got to go to 975dip.com and start weaning yourself from that crap that you're putting between your cheek and gum. This is better for you. And he says it's great for cutting weight as well. I don't know. I'm just saying what one of the Kill Cliff guys says. If you're looking for the best way to get off of that nicotine and get off of that tobacco, 975dip.com, 975dip.com.